I just realized my microphone was on mute the entire time. I'm a fool. I was muted for 1 minute and 32 seconds. What am I doing? What are we asking? Asking to start again. This other world we're trapped in feels like it's coming to an end. Emergency lights are flashing. Oh, what's up? Annie says, good morning, Garza. What's going on, my brony bro? We got the Brones. I love calling you guys the Brones. I don't know why. I know I call you guys bronies, but the Brones, dude. The Brones. So this morning when I was waking up, I ended up listening to Spencer Pratt was on Bill Maher's podcast, the Club Random podcast. It was pretty good. We may end up watching that and just kind of reacting to it, but we're really just going to kind of figure out, did Iran actually stop communicating with the U.S. on this one? On these peace deals? By the way, Reckless Ben's the man, dude.
The American Fork Police Department has responded to the video I made about them.
I am the Chief of Police for the American Fork Police Department. I'd like to address the members of our American Fork and Cedar Hills community.
Yeah, they're terrible, dude. This police department in like Utah or whatever, just in general, terrible. Anyway, let's see what's happening. Iran. Just in, Trump responds after U.S.-Iran trade strike. Oh, what's happening?
So President Trump says Iran still wants to make a deal, despite the two sides trading strikes over the weekend.
And it comes as the president has reportedly toughened his terms for Tehran.
All right, Alexander Hoff is live at the White House with the details. Good morning, Al.
Oh, my boy TJ says, I'm the BBB, biggest, baddest brony. You know what's funny? I'm just going to say this right now. Fun fact, if anybody wants to know the origin story of why I call everybody a brony, it started as a joke. It honestly started as a joke. I wanted to call everybody who was a fan of my show. I was like, oh, my brony bro. I was like trying to kind of like do like a pretend cult thing. And I was like, my brony brothers, come to daddy, come to zaddy, stuff like that. I was just doing all sorts of crazy things. But I was like, it started out as a hilarious joke. And I thought, what would be funny? Wouldn't it be funny if I started like a brony religion? Like a religion centered around bronyism, like, the My Little Pony thing where all the, like all the old creepy guys that love My Little Pony. But, I thought, wouldn't that be hilarious? And I gotta admit, I actually do know a brony, an actual brony. And I love the guy. He's an amazing human being. I love the guy. But I've never understood the brony fandom. I just don't understand the brony fandom. I don't get it. I mean, hey, look, grown men liking My Little Pony, you do your thing. But no, I thought of, I just started to realize, and I kind of kept doing as a joke, and then it started to become like, you say something enough, it becomes reality. Now it's become a tagline to this show, the Pink Brony Bros, dude. It's evolved. It was just my brony brothers. Now it's my brony bros. Now it's my Pink Brony Bros. It has evolved. Oh, I should say it's devolved. But yeah, no. So if anybody ever wanted to know I don't know if I've ever fully explained the origin story to people who have not been here since the beginning. But that is, it's turned into a monster. Oh man. TJ says, no matter how baked I get, I still can't get into it. That's some funny shit, man. Oh my god. Give me a few seconds, you guys. Just setting up a couple more things real quick here. We'll do see if a gift goal can be established. And we'll just keep it as it is real quick. Okay, let's keep going. All right, let's go, dude.
Well, good morning to you. The president issuing a message of reassurance this morning on Truth Social, especially for those who are pushing him to get this deal done faster. He said, quote, sit back and relax. It'll all work out in the end. The president continuing on Truth Social. Iran really wants to make a deal, and it will be a good one for the USA and those that are with us. Now, the demands from the U.S. side remain to be Iran has to agree to no nuclear weapon, but they also have to agree not to buy one. Any remaining materials have to be destroyed. The Strait of Hormuz has to open with no tolls. Sea mines, they also have to be removed, and the U.S. naval blockade has to be lifted. The president highlighting to Fox that main point has already been agreed to.
The one guarantee that I have to have is that there will be no nuclear weapons. They've agreed to that.
And they better agree to that, man. They better agree to that shit. Here's the thing, though. I don't think, like I said, I keep saying this, you guys, and I just don't know if Trump is getting this. Look, I love you, Trump. I love you, man. I still think it's a bad idea for you to try to negotiate with these guys. You can keep trying, but I just think you're going to get nowhere. I just think you're going to get nowhere, man. It's how I feel.
It's very interesting. They originally said, we will not develop a nuclear weapon. I said, well, what happens if you buy a nuclear weapon? So now it says we will not develop or in any way purchase a military weapon. That's a big difference. So we're getting what we want slowly. Very tough negotiators. It takes a long time. I'm in no hurry.
Because when you're in a hurry, according to the president, you make bad decisions, bad deals. But there still is the issue of who's in charge.
I mean, he is right. You don't want to rush into anything. Like, you really don't want to rush into anything. You got to... Annie says, no, you never explained it. That's hilarious. Yeah, because it started out, like I said, the whole brony thing, it started out as a pure joke. Like, it started out as the purest of a pure joke. It was like, hey, it started out as like kind of like a fake religion sort of thing where I was just like, my bronies. And I'd say stupid things like, yeah, my brony brothers, we hang out in the metaverse. And when we're hanging out in the metaverse, we're watching My Little Pony, and we all have our virtual shirts off, and we're all looking at each other's bodies. Okay, it's all men, dude. Mr. TJ says all uranium has a digital tracking origin. I think what Iran has was the same uranium Clinton sold to Russia. Wow. Shit. So that means that Russia gave the uranium, I'm assuming, I'm putting two and two together. You're saying Russia gave the uranium to Iran, allegedly. Oh my God. Sorry if I'm a little bit slow right now. I'm still sort of waking up.
The regime is fairly discombobulated, as you know. That's why it's taken so long to negotiate anything. But President Trump has been clear. He wants this decision to be made by the Iranian people in terms of who will lead that country. I think we need to have an opportunity to see if we can get to a deal. And hopefully what we see is a resurrection of a country that has great economic potential.
And hopefully they come to a deal. I mean, hopefully there's some sort of agreement that they come to. It's got to happen at some point. You know what I mean? It's got to happen. Well, I wouldn't say it's gotta, but hopefully it happens. You know what I mean?
And that potential is why the president says he has so far resisted in wiping out, as he's put it, the entirety of Iran's military because it would take so long for the country to rebuild. But he does still reserve that option if this deal goes south, guys.
All right. Thanks so much. So, I mean, we have the exchange of fire, and over the weekend it became clear that those rockets shot at Kuwait hit our base. Yes. And we have guys injured. So they wanted retaliation because we...
Okay, so the uranium's actually owned by several countries, but was like stored in Russia, it sounds. Okay, interesting.
We also disabled a ship this weekend after we took out some of their assets because they were being provocative with us. So this is essentially we're still engaging with them, and they feel as though that they can hit us because the president does not want to go back to military force. I think they're mistaken again.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the president should go back to military force here. And I don't want to put the military in harm's way. I don't think anybody does. But if this war is going to be done, I don't think it's going to be done through diplomacy. I don't think it can be. I just don't think it can be at this point. I really don't. It sucks. I want it to be. But I don't think it can.
The president is holding right now because he's trying to get some sort of peace deal. But just to put it into perspective, our military...
If you guys can, though, don't forget to double tap your screen to like the stream. It does help the channel grow in a lot of ways. So we're trying to get more likes. The more, like I said, the more likes we get, the better. So please double tap your screen. We're a smaller channel. So, like I said, more likes, the better. So please double tap that screen, baby. We need it. We're always desperate for likes, man. We're simping. We're simping for likes. We're simp daddies, okay? The likes, they keep us going. They keep the show pumping. Pump it up. Like a bath mate. Yo, you pump it up. Like a bath mate. Ho, you double tap. Double tap, yo, screen. It helps me out. And I'll keep making bad raps like this. And then I want to shake my tits.
Military is unmoved. They're restocked. They're ready to go. If you listen to the Secretary of War during that cabinet meeting the other day, the president looks over and was like, he's ready at any time.
Okay, so TJ is saying that they enrich it, not mine it. So, okay, so yeah, so Iran is enriching it, but they're not mining it, I think is what I'm hearing. Yeah. That's crazy, man. Speaking of energy, I ended up, so there's these things, I want to let everybody know, there's these things called master limited partnerships. Well, they have a fucking K1. K1 tax forms are so annoying. So, but I didn't think about this, and I feel like an idiot for not thinking about this. There are ETFs that hold these master limited partnerships within their fund, specifically for people who don't want to deal with the tax problems. So I don't like dealing with the K1 form, but the beauty is the fund itself deals with all that shit, right? So that's kind of cool. I'm actually kind of excited about that now that I think about it. But yeah, I ended up investing in a few MLP ETFs this morning because I ended up asking ChatGPT. I was like, hey, so do MLP ETFs, do they have a K1? It basically told me no. It was like, no, none of these do. It showed me a list of them too. I was like, fuck, all right, well, I'm going to buy at least one share of each of these because master limited partnerships are a great way to get exposure to energy companies, but also take in you as an MLP shareholder, basically, a master limited partnership shareholder, you get a lot of income from those. And a lot of them are just energy companies and shit. And not just energy companies, but they do all sorts of things in the energy field. So MLPs are great. I love having them because if you want a little diversification to your portfolio, MLPs are so good, dude. I love them. I love BDCs and I love MLPs. Not to be confused with BBCs, though. But
start back operations. So, I appreciate the president trying to accomplish peace. You saw what he said on True Social about everybody remaining calm. But at some point, he is...
Yeah, here's the thing, man. I hope he can get peace as much as I want to see... Look, as much as I want to see a peace deal with Iran, and that's really the goal, I just don't think you can negotiate with Iran. It's that simple. I really don't think you can negotiate with Iran. I just don't think it's a possibility. Call me pessimistic, and I'm not trying to be pessimistic, just to let everybody know. But it is infuriating. It is infuriating. I just don't think it's like trying. Look, I think negotiating with Iran is like trying to negotiate with a with a wolf. You may be able to tame the wolf and turn it into a dog, but chances are maybe you're not going to be able to, and that wolf is going to bite you. And I feel like Iran, I don't think Iran has the teeth to bite us. They're kind of like a wolf with no teeth, but they're still going to hate us and they're still going to try to attack us. That's the analogy that I can think of. Penguin, dude, you know that Iran has no teeth. You know that their entire navy's sunk to the bottom of the ocean, right? At least Majority of their Navy. I think all of it. And then look, their military is totally cooked. The Iranian military is totally cooked. Like, I don't know how people are still I don't know how people live in the U.S. and suddenly think that Iran's winning this war. Iran's not winning this war, dude. If you think Iran's winning this war, I don't know what your problem is, man. Look, if you guys love Donald Trump as much as I do, please double tap your screen to like the stream, because I'm a fan of Trump. If you guys are fans of Trump like I am, because we need more likes anyway, so I'm trying to get more likes. But if you guys agree with me, if you guys agree that Trump's the man, double tap your screen to like the stream. It really does help the channel in a lot of ways. Let's keep going.
Is going to get frustrated, and we're going to see.
Well, and he said if they don't comply, then we will have to go in with force. But right now he says he's taking a very patient approach. He told Laura Trump, his daughter-in-law, he was on her show this weekend, and he said, I'm not in any hurry. I know that gas prices are high. As soon as we get what our demands are, he wants the enriched uranium, then gas prices will go down again. But for right now, he said, I know we're facing the midterms, but he said last week, if I don't do what I'm supposed to do to protect our country, because there's a midterm coming.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically honestly, you're protecting the entire Middle East by defanging Iran, all right? You are. You're protecting the Middle East, straight up. Dude, Trump defanged Iran, and it was the necessary thing to do. All right, it was absolutely 100% necessary. I think most people can agree with that. I'd like to believe most people can agree with that. Hopefully. Hopefully. I don't know anymore, man.
Coming up, then nothing will ever get done because there's a midterm.
Hey, thank you guys for liking the stream. I really appreciate it. The more likes we get, the better. Look, if you like Donald Trump as much as I do, then like the stream, because we're pro MAGA, we're pro Trump. So if you guys like Trump as much as I do, I hope you guys take the time to double tap your screen or press the like button. It does help us in a lot. Oh, pressed a weird key. But it does help in a lot of ways. So if you guys can, please like the stream. It goes a long way. I really appreciate you guys. Okay, let's keep going. I got to stop begging for likes, man. Just the more likes we get, the better, man. It just helps the channel grow, bro. The more likes we get, so.
There's an election every 2 years, exactly.
Right. If they get to November and they're still not complying, the gloves are off. Right. I'm telling you, they've already done. The president's already done what no other president was willing to do. First hit them last year in June, and then bury their nuclear program. And then they start reconstituting. But the other thing you cannot soft pedal is they're building up ballistic missiles. The ballistic missiles that are fueled by China, that are trading with Iran in exchange for gas and oil, they were going to protect their nuclear program and be able to pin down Israel. That we couldn't allow that to happen while they resupply the proxies again to make sure there's perpetual turmoil in the Middle East, despite the fact that the Gulf states surrounding them are signed on essentially with the Abraham Accords and no longer looking at Israel as the problem. And the other thing I would like to add is that the Iranians, this is how they miscalculated. They are trying to rally the Gulf states against us.
After they hit them.
After you've been bombing them consistently for the last 2 months, you're taking out their vital, trying to take out their vital energy sector from Qatar to Saudi Arabia to Bahrain and Kuwait. And now you're saying, let's rally against the U.S. That just shows you how detached they are from reality, I think.
Here's Kevin Hassett. He's the director of the National Economic Council on the chain of events that will more quickly lead to lower oil and gas prices. Listen.
When you leave the Straits, then you can get to Pakistan almost right away, you can get to India almost right away, you can get to Korea, Singapore a little bit faster. But the point is, those are the places where the refineries had to shut down because they didn't have oil. And that's why diesel prices went through the roof and jet fuel prices went through the roof. And what happened with U.S. Refineries is when they saw how much money they could make with diesel and with jet fuel, then they changed what they refined and refined less gasoline and more of the other stuff, which was so costly. As soon as the oil lands in Asia, then we expect those prices to reverse and gasoline production in the U.S. to go up. And so I think I've seen some forecasts of how bad it could be, how long it could take, but I think they're really underestimating sort of the chain of events that's going to happen, because the boats are actually already leaving and headed to Asia and making it so those refineries are going back towards 100% production.
I will say Kevin has it also. He did some of the.
Well, at least the refineries are going back to 100% production, I guess. I don't know. That's good. No, the president's, hey, Oregon bro. Trump was 100% correct in doing what he did. Iran started this war a long time ago, all right? Iran started this war a long-ass time ago. If you guys think that Iran started this war, I hope you guys like the stream, because here's the thing. One, they've been the #1 state sponsor of terror for years now, all right? Like the stream if you think that here's the thing. Like if you agree that Iran has been a terrible country for a long time, killing its own citizens, enriching uranium to near weapons grade, and also being the #1 state sponsor of terror. They've been doing terrible things. If anybody's siding with Iran, I feel bad for you. If you side with Iran, I feel bad for you. Why? The Iranian regime is literally a dictatorship. They are a straight up dictatorship. So if you're siding with them, I don't know what your problem is. Anyway, if you guys agree with me, like the stream, tap the like button. It's crazy, man. Are we living in clown world here?
Other Sunday shows as well. And he pushed back against the narrative that everything is going wrong with the economy. Essentially, he's saying that many of the sentiments that you hear from the American people comes from the negative press coverage. Mm-hmm. He goes, okay, we fixed the...
You're right. It was near weapons grade, but guess what? When they do get it to weapons grade, here's what happens. They can then put it in a missile and then create what's called a nuclear missile. All right? You guys, do I have to... Oh, dude, the level... sometimes my chat, as much as I love you guys, sometimes the leftists that come into my chat, though, have the lowest IQs in the world.
Prices. You guys complain about the egg price. He goes, we fix it. We bring it down by over 20%. There's no coverage of that. The gas prices aren't as high under Joe Biden as they were under Joe Biden. And we're in a military conflict. And Iran is trying to use that against America. But you guys didn't cover the gas prices before that. So there is a narrative thing. No one wants to undermine and say, hey, look, we know the people at home are feeling the gas prices. No one can deny that. But if you can compare the gas prices that are right now during this conflict compared to Joe Biden when he was in office, we're at war now. There's a difference. We weren't at war then.
And you know why Joe Biden's prices were high? Because he refused to allow exploration of oil and gas.
Yes.
And he was draining our strategic oil reserves and doing a deal with the devil with the Venezuelans. So it was totally self-inflicted because he's on that green energy kick. This is because we're taking out an enemy that's been an enemy for 47 years.
By the way, if you guys think that Joe Biden was the worst president of all time, double tap. Double tap if you think Joe Biden was one of the worst presidents of all time. Not just one of, the worst. Double tap if you think he was the worst. Jimmy Carter was the second worst.
Years, which is why if it
Richard
ends, it's so important to say, hey, guys, America, you've been putting up with this for the last 6-8 weeks. I understand that. It's tough. But in the end, this is what we did. Right. That's why the outcome has got to make it worth it.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Well, hopefully the outcome is worth it ultimately. I don't know. We'll see what the result ends up being, though. We'll see what the result ends up being. Oh, we got General Jack Keane, baby. I love, dude. Jack Keane and I have very I mean, we're not the same person by any means, but we do have the same outlook that you can't negotiate with Iran, that it's almost nearly impossible to negotiate with Iran, and that it might be actually not in our best interest to even try. I don't even think it's in the best interest of America to try to negotiate with Iran. I just don't. I think it's a fool's errand. I really do. I really do. I think it's a fool's errand to even try to negotiate with Iran. I just don't understand the benefit, because you're just giving them time to resupply. And we all know Iran's tactics. They do it time and time again. They delay. And they're like, oh, here's our point. Here's our plans. And they're just giving these bullshit plans that we're not going to agree to. And the bullshit plans always include, oh, we want to still do nuclear. No, you're not allowed to.
Over to the map, Jillian, we go from news from over the weekend. Come on over here and I'll tell you what's happening. Remember, Iran has claimed territorial claim, international waters of everything you see in pink. Whether or not and how long that upholds itself, we'll find out. The military action took place on this side of the water on Iran's territory, and they were going after this location here called Gork, another one here in Keshem Island. Talked a lot about Keshem Island as the Iranians want these vessels to go around their...
By the way, if you guys think that Iran is cooked, double tap your screen. If you think that Trump's the man and that Trump's going to... look, Trump's going to win either way. Deal or no deal, Trump wins. All right, and if you guys believe that, because I believe it, double tap the screen, baby.
Their islands and pay a toll, which would take you really close to the Iranian border in order to navigate the strait. Here's what happened over the weekend. This drone, American-operated drone, an MQ-1, high sophistication, apparently was operating in international territory.
So its length is 27 feet, 48.7 foot wingspan. Speed is around 84 miles per hour, up to 135 miles. Our range is 454 miles. Damn. Payload is 450 pounds. Holy crap, man. That's crazy. I mean, that's a very sophisticated drone, man.
Was shot down in the sky by the Iranians, and that led to a U.S. response. We'll swing on over here and let you know what's happening. Remember, there was a ceasefire that went into place back on the 7th, 8th of April. Since that time, things were pretty relatively quiet, I would argue, until about a month ago, right? May 7th, that's when the U.S. strikes these Iranian missile and drone strikes. On behalf of the Navy destroyers. Then last week, in fact, about a week ago today, CENTCOM was seeing these mine-laying ships in the Strait of Hormuz, and the U.S. military went after a number of sites. Then on Wednesday, we hit other radar and military facilities. Then this was the activity from Saturday and Sunday, all right? CENTCOM hit these Iranian drone sites. After that drone was shot down, all that activity I just showed you over on the map took place. So that's where we are right now. But for the moment, despite the tit for tat, the ceasefire is holding. General Jack Heen's here.
Yeah.
General, great to get you on today, and hello to you.
I
are reports.
I don't have faith in the ceasefire, and I think no matter what, Iran is just going to keep violating and violating and violating and violating the ceasefire. I just don't trust Iran at all. You know, as much as I believe in Trump on this one, I don't trust Iran. So I think I think sometimes you can't make a deal with the devil. And in this instance, Iran is the devil, you know? Yeah. So, I don't know. That's what I believe, though. That's what I believe. Let's keep going.
Out of Tehran in the last hour, saying that if the Israelis do not stop hitting Hezbollah targets in Lebanon, there's no more talking, and they will open up new fronts in this war if you do not listen. How do you read that on its face right now, General?
Well, on the face of it, despite the board briefing, which is excellent, the ceasefire is not holding, Bill. We don't, let's face it.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Iran keeps violating it. Iran keeps screwing with the ceasefire, and we should just stop with these negotiations. We all know these negotiations are going nowhere unless Trump is doing this as a tactical advantage because he wants to reload, refuel. I think he's positioning the naval ships in different ways or something. He's probably getting all these drones ready and raring. Because I think if Iran doesn't come to the table, it's going to have to be power plant and bridge day. I hope not. I hope not. But it may have to be. And look, I love Trump. I think Trump's the man. I really do. But this is crazy. We got to stop negotiating. We got to stop negotiating with these guys. By the way, double tap the screen if you guys are tired of negotiating with Iran and just want Trump to finish the job. Trump, just finish the job. Just stop even trying. Iran's not negotiating in good faith. They're just not. In no way, shape, or form is Iran negotiating in good faith. I think it's pretty damn obvious they're not. So I'm hoping that Trump finally gets it through his skull, understands. Trump, you got to understand, brother. I love you, Trump. I think you're the man. But Iran's not going to work with you because it's Iran, for God's sakes. It's Iran.
I mean, Iran is doing everything they can to disrupt the Straits of Hormuz even further. Why? Because we've been passing shipping through there, to be sure, and that's not a violation of any ceasefire. Iran has taken very aggressive actions, and we are defending ourselves against it quite handily, as you point out there. And just so our audience gets a grip on what is actually happening here, we had a ceasefire on April the 8th overall, and then a more specific ceasefire on April the 17th in Lebanon. And since April the 17th to today, the Iranians have fired over 2,400 missiles and drones into northern Israel. That is more than what Israel had to defend against during the 5 days when we were at war. That is the significance of it. And is that a ceasefire? Are they holding to that? Obviously, they're not. I mean, it's absolutely laughable that they're saying that what Israel is doing to defend itself is in violation of the ceasefire. We got to call it out for what is really happening here. And listen, give the president a huge amount of credit here.
I'm just saying that I think it's impossible to negotiate with Iran. I don't think it's possible to negotiate with Iran at this point. I really don't. I don't think that there's even a remote possibility that we can. Penguin, I don't want war, but war is going to be inevitable because Iran is not, they're not listening. Iran still believes that it has a nuclear future. It should never have a nuclear future, period, end of story. Because they have proven time and time again as a nation that they have, first off, they have a dictatorship. That's not good. It is a regime in Iran. But yeah, they have death to America written on their currency. Like, dude, death to America is written on the Iranian currency. It sounds like they're our enemy. If anything, I would say Iran definitely is our enemy. It's pretty obvious. I mean, there's just so many things. Iran doesn't like us. We don't like Iran. All right? It's plain and simple. And Iran wants a nuclear weapon, and we say no. They shouldn't have one because not only do we not like them, we know that they've been the #1 state sponsor of terror. We know that they've killed thousands of their own citizens who disagree with the Iranian regime. They shut off the internet intentionally so that way they could do crimes against humanity and not get called out for it. It is terrible. Iran is terrible.
Exercising some real strategic patience, trying to...
I should say the Iranian government is terrible.
...get a deal here. And he knows full well at some point he could run out of patience. One, because of their seriousness is lacking in getting down to the real terms of the deal. And we're going to find out over time.
Yeah, I just don't think that I don't think they're going to be serious. They're not negotiating in good faith. The Iranian regime is not negotiating in good faith. It's as simple as that. They're not negotiating in good faith. I think we're aware of this, right? Come on, we got to be aware of this. By the way, if you get, okay, how about this? I'm kind of curious. We're doing a little bit of a like poll, okay? Double tap the screen if you agree with this, okay? Iran can be trusted. If you think that Iran can be trusted, double tap the screen. If you think Iran cannot be trusted, just type in the chat no. In the chat, just say no if you think that Iran cannot be trusted. And then double tap the screen to like the stream if you think that they can be trusted. Let's see. I want to see what you guys think. I mean, I don't trust Iran for the life of me. I don't trust them at all. I do not trust Iran. Period. End of story. I don't know why anybody would. It's crazy. E.T. We got E.T. in the house. What's going on, my brony bro? E.T., why are you saying those things? He's saying the S and the P word. Brony. You're my pink brony bro, and you betrayed my bussy. Why do you betray my bussy?
Reason to even speculate on what those terms are because we don't know. But the second thing is, he's right when he talks about holding the cards here. We have plenty of justification to go back to a war footing right now based on all these violations of the ceasefire that I just described. Yeah. He's not doing it. But they also know that he could do it. And if this behavior continues, it certainly undermines anything the Iranians are saying, Bill, about the seriousness of their wanting to make a deal. Yeah. And they're using, I think, this pressure to think that that's going to force us into making a deal sooner and making it more in terms of what they want to achieve themselves.
Okay, so I want to take it back.
Here for sure.
Last Friday afternoon, we're all waiting for news out of the Situation Room. It came later in the evening on Friday, around 6 o'clock. Reports undoubtedly the president sent Iran an answer. And this is what the New York Times is reporting about that response. They write the following: Trump's changes, a new, tougher proposal, were potentially intended to speed up the process by putting pressure on Iran to accept the framework already sent to Iran's supreme leader. Can you shed light on what that response might have been, sir?
Didn't Iran's president recently resign? I think because he wasn't getting paid. I think he said that due to lack of structure and leadership and stuff. But honestly, it's not. I would not want to be the president of Iran because I would know that if I was the president of Iran, I'd be like, this is a joke. Our government's a joke in Iran. That's Iran's government's a joke, is what I'm trying to say. And if I was the Iranian president, I'd be like, screw this. He has to ask to resign, though. He can't just resign. He has to ask to resign. So that's kind of interesting.
I think we just can speculate about it. We don't know the specifics of it. But one of the barriers has always been the Straits of Hormuz. And they want to have some level of control over that in organizing it. Maybe remove the fees, but if they're still telling ships when they can go and what time to go, et cetera, and where to go, that's obviously control.
Yeah, a BS country like Iran has no right to tell any ships what to do in the Strait of Hormuz. Period. End of story. A BS country like Iran has no right and has no power, should have zero power. Iran's government's a fucking joke. True joke. And if you guys agree with the Iranian government, you guys are sad people, bro. You guys are sad freaking people. That's all I gotta say. Let's keep going.
Well, we want none of that. We don't even want the implication there. What would be preferred would be if Iran made a statement that it is territorial. It is international waters, not territorial waters that they claim it to be, and it's freedom of navigation. Mm-hmm. I doubt seriously they would agree to a statement like that, but at least remove any threat that they're going to stay in some kind of organizational control over the other stuff.
Magic Man says, "What's up, Garza?" What's going on, Mr. Magic Man? How you doing, brony? What's up, my brony bro? The Brones, dude, the Brones.
I'm assuming has something to do with nuclear and whether they're fully
laugh out loud.
In.
Hey, Magic Man, thank you for the gift, my brony bro. We just got a 100. Thank you for the gift, man. I appreciate you, man.
The memorandum of understanding that we're trying to get them to sign.
Hey, if anybody wants to send a gift, by the way, it does help the channel grow in more ways than one. So the more gifts we get, the better. So if you can, if it's within your budget, feel free to send a gift of any size. It could be a small gift. It could be a large gift, whatever you guys want to send. I'm just very grateful for any gifts. that are sent because it does fuel the channels overall. So whatever you guys want to send, it's always appreciated.
That there is a commitment there to ridding themselves of the nuclear capabilities that they have.
Okay, sir, if
just
I
speculation
could,
on our part.
I just want to characterize, you have a lot of good sources on this war. Are you more optimistic today or less optimistic than you were, say, at the end of last week?
Well, I've always cautioned whether we can really make a deal with these guys or not, because I think they're playing for time here, trying to drag this out. If 60 days gets us to the end of July, they want to drag it out likely even further. In their mind,
they probably will drag it out.
The closer they get to the midterm elections, the less likelihood that the president would ever react to a negative deal with returning to military operations. I think that has a lot to do with their strategy. My own judgment about that is I believe they're miscalculating once again. Remember, we did the 60-day thing with them once before.
Sure.
This was prior to 12 June hostilities going on for our audience to understand. And he gave them 60 days. And what did they do? They did not fulfill the deal. On the 61st day, he gave the green light to Israel to attack Iran. So I believe we're on the path for them to miscalculate once again. And we could see ourselves returning to military operations because of that miscalculation.
Okay, right on. General, thank you so much. It's good to touch base with you.
Unfortunately, I agree with Jack Keane on this one. We may have to look. Look, I'm the man who will say peace first every time. Try to go for the peaceful resolution. If it can't be struck, keep the fighting going. I just don't like the odds. In fact, if we were to go to Kalshi, I don't like using Kalshi for this, but Kalshi, Iran, war, peace. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of people are thinking that this isn't going to happen for a while. So, yeah, here's what I think. Iran's not coming to the table. Period. End of story. Iran is definitely. I don't see Iran coming to the table at all on this one. I feel like they've been toying with the U.S. a little bit too much, and it's just honestly, it's frustrating. I don't know. I just don't think Iran's serious, and yeah. Anyway, make sure that you guys, if you can, double tap the screen to like the stream. It really does help. The more likes we get, the better. So yes, please double tap your screen to like the stream. We're a smaller channel. We're trying to grow a little bit bigger. Well, not just a little bit. We're trying to grow really bigly. So, yeah.
As we begin a new week, thank you, sir. We'll talk in a few days. Jack Keane there with the stat.
Jack Keane's a stud, dude. I like Jack Keane. Mayor Bass and Pratt spar over key issues in LA mayoral race. Let's take a listen.
I don't think he has.
By the way, if you guys want Spencer Pratt to win, double tap your screen, man. If you guys think that Spencer Pratt has what it takes, double tap your screen to like the stream, man. I think Spencer Pratt's going to win this thing, man. I really do. I don't think Karen Bass has a chance. But yes, if you guys think that Spencer Pratt's going to win this thing, double tap your screen. Let's go, bro.
Any plans on homelessness? I think he has rhetoric that he says. Like, you know,
I think you have rhetoric that you say because you're not doing anything about it. Karen Bass, you're not doing anything about the homelessness crisis in LA. What are you talking about?
Everybody's a zombie and we're just going to sweep everybody up.
I'm the one with compassion. No matter what these people tell you, I don't want people dying on the street. I don't want our tax money going to needles to kill these people. I want to.
Yeah, I trust Spencer Pratt, honestly. I really do. I trust Spencer Pratt more than I trust Karen Bass. I don't even live in LA, and I feel very invested in this because I feel if Spencer Pratt wins, I think it's I think it shows that people are done with the left. I think it shows that people are done with the left.
To get them in treatment. I want to help them. I want to help the dogs. I have a heart.
Okay, now that's the former reality TV star Spencer Pratt, fresh off a big
Pratt,
media
baby.
splash in New York City, back in California. He wants to be the next mayor of LA. It's getting a lot of attention. So the candidates all over the City of Angels over the weekend are getting in one last pitch before voters head to the polls tomorrow in what appears to be a surprisingly close race. Kevin McCarthy, Californian himself, former Speaker of the House, with me now. And hello to you, sir. Here is one poll happened about a week or two ago. Bass 26%, Rahman, the progressive, at 25, Pratt at 22. The top two advance to November. What are you hearing? How do you see it? Does Pratt have a chance in Los Angeles?
You know, I was in LA this weekend, and I was doing Bill Maher's show, but I was around a lot of Democrats. They were talking about it, and these are former supporters of the mayor. This race shouldn't even be close. It shouldn't even be talked about. But Pratt is really hitting a nerve here. Everyone's showing it.
Exactly. And he needs to. He is striking a nerve because this stuff happens in L.A., and then Karen Bass just wants to sweep it under the rug, as she always does. This is what Democrats do. They just sweep everything under the rug and say, it's fine, it's fine. They live in perpetual denial. This is my problem with liberals. It's all about projection, daddy issues, and denial. Projection, daddy issues, denial. Okay? PDD. Projection, daddy issues, and denial. Those should be the slogans for the Democrats.
His ads. They're excellent ads, and they're sticking just to 3 items: homelessness, crime, your street.
Oh, we got X-Cho. We got X-Cho. So I always say your name wrong, dude. I'm sorry. I'm just going to call you X, man. I'm going to call you X-Cho. All right? We got my boy X in the house. What are his qualifications? The fact that he's honestly more intelligent than Karen Bass, obviously, and that Karen Bass has actually mismanaged L.A. in more ways than one. So, yeah. I think Spencer Pratt's winning this thing, man. I think Spencer Pratt's winning. I really do. I firmly believe Spencer Pratt is winning this race. Straight up.
And this is really a referendum on the Democratic policies. I think he's got a real chance of getting into the runoff.
Yeah.
It is difficult down there. And a real telltale sign here is after the first debate.
It's funny. Usually an incumbent is just kind of, I think, put in. But in this instance, people don't like who the incumbent is. They don't like Karen Bass. And honestly, I can't say that I blame them. Karen Bass is not a good candidate. She's just not. She's already proven that she has mismanaged Los Angeles in many ways, and that a lot of people, low-key, are going to secretly vote against her, as they should.
Debate. The other 2 candidates canceled and would not debate him anymore. So the public is not being able to see these debates. The first one, he did an excellent job. His ads are just viral. He's not spending much money on it, but he has his why, his reason why he's running. His house burnt down and he couldn't rebuild it. His kids can't go to the parks anymore. And that's just what he's showing. And this is a Democrat city that is frustrated with how it is managed.
Okay, here apparently Gavin Newsom, the governor, endorsed Karen Bass. Here is his reaction.
Well, of course Gavin Newsom's going to endorse Karen Bass because Gavin Newsom's what you would call a moron.
On that.
Allegedly. I'll just say allegedly.
That must be breaking news because I had not heard that. But it's not shocking because they're alleged criminal partners. Not only did they work together in their negligence in burning down 7,000 houses and 12 people alive, but they're both complicit in laundering, what, $24 billion to actually increase homelessness. Newsom and
That's
Karen
crazy.
Bass.
That is wild to me, man. Yuck. Yeah, I am just beyond disgusted. I am beyond disgusted with Karen Bass And Nithya Raman, I think, is part of the problem too. I think I don't know what part of government she currently works in, but I don't think she's winning. But I really do see Spencer Pratt as the main guy. I think there's a lot. I think Spencer Pratt is going to spank everyone.
Make up stats. Those are not real numbers. Anybody with eyeballs in the state of California or Los Angeles knows that there has not been a reduction in one homeless person.
This is what we know. He's attracted a lot of attention to a race that may not have gotten it before. Quickly on the governor's side, does Steve Hilton stand a chance of advancing in the governor's race? How do you see that quickly?
He does, but I'm very nervous. Stiers is spending a lot of money. There's an opportunity here where two Democrats could move forward. Republicans need to consolidate, and I will tell you.
Look, I think it's very tough for a Republican governor to win in California. So I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen. As much as I would want that to happen, ideally, I just don't think that's I just don't think that's plausible. I just don't think it's possible, and yeah, I just don't think that's going to happen, man. As much as, but I think Spencer Pratt, though, because of how poor Karen Bass has done, how poorly she's ran LA, I think Spencer Pratt has a really, really good shot of winning the LA mayoral race. People are underestimating Spencer Pratt, and they shouldn't, man.
President Trump has endorsed Hilton. Let's get behind Hilton to make sure we have a Republican.
By the way, you guys, double tap your screen to like the stream. It does help. The more likes we get, the better. So please, once again, I beg you. I guess I am begging. I'm begging you. Double tap the screen to like the stream, baby. I'm on my knees. I'm begging, please. Okay, I'm not begging too hard. But no, if you guys can, though, double tap your screens to like the stream. It does help the channel grow. We're trying to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It pushes us out on the algorithm, too. So if you want to annoy everybody on YouTube, all you have to do is tap the like button. It puts me in more feeds. And yeah, I know my opinions probably annoy a lot of people, but that's okay.
Looking to start talking about that issues in November.
Okay, maybe Wednesday we have an answer. We get the results late in California. Jill Biden, meanwhile, had her full interview played on CBS on Sunday. We had a clip of it at the end of last week. Here is more of what CBS released and we saw on Sunday.
I don't know what happened. I mean, as I watched it, I thought, oh my God,
Laugh
he's
out
having a
loud.
stroke. As we were walking out, he said,
Hey, thank you so much for the 100. Hey, LULQ8SH. Thank you for the 100 for 2 joules, and I will say hi back. Hi, LU. I'm just going to call you LU, okay? So everybody give a shout out to LU. Thank you for the 100 for 2 joules. We always greatly appreciate any sort of, we do appreciate anytime you guys give a gift. We appreciate it big time. King Bia Shinid, or whatever your name is, did you see the debt? You really think they're just going to give away money? Yeah, here's the thing, man. I don't really care at this point. I don't hold cash. I hold assets, okay? If you want to stay rich, if you want to stay wealthy, don't even hold cash. This is not financial advice, but I think high-yield savings accounts are stupid. I really do. You're better off just being in the market, in my opinion. Is the market volatile? Yes. But if you have patience and you're well-diversified across the board, international, U.S. stocks, commodities, real estate, you name it. If you're diversified, you're typically in the clear.
and I'm not going to use the words because it's morning TV, but I really sort of messed up, didn't I? And I said, yes, you did. And what people don't know, he had 2 events after that, and he was fine.
She's terrible, dude. Worst wife ever, dude. Worst wife ever. Dude, she's terrible. Like, honestly, I honestly feel bad for Joe Biden. I hate to say this. I actually feel bad for Joe Biden because I think, and my opinion is this, I think it's elder abuse. I think it's a form of elder abuse, man. She wanted him to keep running because she loved the spotlight of being the first lady. She loved it. She did it for the fame. She did it for the fame. It's pretty obvious, man. If you guys believe that she did it for the fame, double tap your screens. If you guys think I'm right. If you guys think I'm right. If you think I'm wrong, whatever.
I mean, he was fine. It was inexplicable.
Really? He was... The level of denial from her is insane. I mean, these are levels of denial that actually shock the heck out of me, dude. Pure levels of denial.
So now here you get the quote, unhelpful. Top Democrats say Joe Biden's memoir is reopening 2024 wounds. What's your view of it, sir?
That's exactly true. Republicans aren't bringing up 2024. It's the Democrats debating of how they handled 2024. There's a couple signs I take from this. It just raises the questions, who knew what and when, and why did you stay quiet about this president? I spoke about it and they challenged me. Secondly, it goes to the weakness of the current Democratic leadership. They put out their autopsy of 2024 and they renounced it. It shows the weakness of Hakeem Jeffries and Schumer. They're allowing this to go on.
Yeah, nobody likes Hakeem Jeffries, dude. Nobody likes Al Green either. That guy is terrible. Okay, maybe there are people, but I know that there's not a lot of people that like either of them. I think Hakeem Jeffries is so ridiculous, dude. Anyway, let's. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. Let's watch something a little bit different. Yeah, I think the Iran war is going to continue, unfortunately, for a little bit longer. That sucks, dude. Yep, U.S. launches new strikes in Iran as hope for a peace deal fades. Iran claims to strike a U.S. base. Trump changes deal proposal. That's just crazy, man. I just want to see like what the latest news is. Like, what is the latest? Okay. Let's just look up news. All right, let's watch fake news CNN. I don't like CNN.
The U.S. military now
but let's see what they're
says
saying.
overnight it intercepted 2 Iranian ballistic missiles targeting American forces in Kuwait, adding, though, that no American personnel were harmed in this.
Iran suspends
Iran
talks
announcing
with the
it
US. This is the latest of the latest that we got.
suspending talks with the United States. That's according to Iranian media.
Now Trump can finally finish the job.
Which says the decision is in protest over Israel's attacks in Lebanon. CNN's Oren Lieberman following this story for us. Let me just read for our viewers what we've just heard from the...
I'm not going to lie. I knew this was going to be a waste of time. Trying to negotiate with Iran is probably the biggest waste of time.
Foreign Minister in Iran. He said the US and Israel are responsible for the consequences of any violation. He says the ceasefire between Iran and the US is unequivocally a ceasefire on all fronts. Its violation on one front is a violation.
Oh, we got Uncle Chris in the house. What's up, Uncle Chris? How you doing, Brony? My Brony bro, dude.
Violation of the ceasefire on all fronts.
Yep.
What do we understand to be going on at this point?
Well, just moments ago, Becky, we got our first evacuation warning from the Israeli military for Beirut, for the southern suburb of Dahia. The Israeli military, the Israeli political leadership, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Israel Katz, had said that they would now begin and were planning to strike Beirut and the Dahia neighborhood, considered a Hezbollah stronghold. Up until now, Israel had largely refrained from striking Beirut. We saw one strike on May 28th. We saw another on May 6th after the ceasefire. The These were both after senior Hezbollah commanders, but largely because of pressure from the Trump administration, Israel had not attacked the Lebanese capital, keeping most of its strikes towards southern Lebanon and lately to the Bekaa Valley. So this is opening up a new wave of attacks as well.
Larson Christopher says, never trust the Democrats, never trust Islam, never trust mainstream media, never trust RX in the drug industry, never trust government schools. Yep. Yeah. Oh, Uncle Chris, Annie's still here. I don't know if Annie's... I think Annie was in a little bit earlier. If I remember correctly, I think Annie was in... Yeah, Annie was in for a bit. Yeah, she was on here earlier. Yeah, Annie's here. Yep. And then E.T. says, Garza, can I get a shout out for my gay unk? Yeah, E.T. E.T.'s unk. Shout out, bro. Shout out to E.T.'s unk, bro. Annie says, Chris, I've been here every day. You just ignore me. CS, what's up, dude? We got a lot of good people in here right now. We got a lot of good people coming in. I love it.
Well as an escalation in the ongoing, frankly, ongoing conflict between Israel and Iran's proxy Hezbollah. So given that we just saw the evacuation warning coming from Israel's military for Dahya, we expect that there will be strikes there, potentially even imminently. And although we hadn't seen strikes to this point, once that announcement came from Israel, we have seen this video of people and residents in Dahya fleeing ahead of those strikes to try to get out of that area. Again, Lebanon is a country that has seen more than, I believe, 1.2 million people displaced by Israeli strikes and evacuation warnings. And this, of course, will add to that now that Israel has made it clear it is striking Beirut. Here's what Netanyahu had to say earlier today.
Together with the Minister of Defense, I have instructed the IDF to strike terrorist targets in Beirut. There will not be a situation in which Hezbollah attacks our cities and our citizens, and its terrorist headquarters in Beirut, in Dahya, remains out of bounds.
Yep. Cool.
Israel says the attacks on Beirut are in response to an increased volume of Hezbollah rocket and drone attacks, as well as some rocket attacks that have reached a bit farther into Israel, not just right along Israel's northern.
I mean, CNN sucks, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I do like to see what CNN's saying. I want to see what sort of propaganda they're spewing, because I don't trust the mainstream media, but sometimes you have to see what the mainstream media is saying, see if they're lying to you. And obviously they're going, here's the problem. The mainstream media has been siding with Iran so much. It's sickening, because we all know that Iran is cooked. I think anybody with a brain understands that Iran cannot compete or even fight against us. Coyote says, you know why the Democrats didn't release the files? Because they got nothing. Here's the thing. A fun fact is Jeffrey Epstein was a huge Democrat donor. Democrats don't like to talk about that, though.
Border there. Israel, over the course of the past several weeks, has occupied a growing part of southern Lebanon. They've carried out strikes in cities like Tyre and Nabatea, which are outside of that occupied zone. And all of this is happening in the middle of what is supposed to be a U.S. brokered ceasefire. But on the ground, it's incredibly difficult to see any evidence of that ceasefire. Despite that, the U.S. is still trying to push forward with a political track, with diplomacy between Israel and Lebanon. And in fact, D.C. is supposed to host ambassadors from the two countries for what would be a fourth round of talks to try to get to a broader ceasefire agreement. As hard as that is to see from where we are right now. Nevertheless, Lebanon's president said on social media earlier that it is negotiations that are the way to end this war. He insisted negotiations are not some form of failure or surrender. It's not a quick fix. It will take time. But Lebanon's president said, again on social media, that it is the right way and Lebanon is committed to this. He said the rocket fire that's coming from Lebanon, of course, he said, does not help. But he also says Israel's repeated strikes on Lebanon, the growing number of people killed in Israeli strikes, and Israel's growing incursion into the country are also a violation of the ceasefire and make that diplomatic track so hard to see from where we are right now.
Yeah,
we're following the U.S. now.
I just think that it's impossible. Iran is going to find every excuse to get out of doing a deal. Iran is going to make up every sort of excuse it can to get out of a deal. It is. It is. Because that's what Iran does. They're great at deception.
says Iran fired 2 ballistic missiles at U.S. forces in Kuwait. Both were intercepted, and now Iran says it's suspending talks with the U.S. in protest of Israeli strikes in Lebanon.
Oh, good Lord.
With us here is CNN national security analyst and former deputy director of national intelligence, Beth Zanner. What's your reaction, Beth, to Iran's latest move to suspend all these talks?
Well,
look, I don't think I think the talks may be permanently suspended, and I think Trump is just going to have to do what he has to do. Finish the job, Trump. Finish the job, dude. Please, just get this over with. There's no point in negotiating with Iran because they're going to find every excuse they can to get out of negotiating with us. The only reason they were trying to negotiate with us was to buy time. Iran was trying to buy time. By the way, if you guys agree with me, tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. If you guys think that Iran was simply trying to buy time, tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. Straight up.
We've had now 3 ceasefire violations in the Strait, according to in terms of U.S. strikes and retaliation over the past week since last Wednesday. But what we're seeing today is really Iran reacting to the escalation on the Lebanese front. And I don't know if viewers remember or not, but Lebanon and a cessation of hostilities, a ceasefire in Lebanon was supposed to be part of this package deal with the ceasefire that's going on in Iran, between the United States and Iran. And at the same time, the Lebanese front has really been heating up. And during this whole ceasefire period, the Israeli Defense Forces have killed 800 to 900 Hezbollah fighters.
Wow.
They have struck Beirut, and today Netanyahu announced they're going to strike Beirut again. Lebanese are driving
Holy crapoly.
out of that southern part of Beirut, which is Hezbollah stronghold. And so there is a lot going on in that front, and it's a key barrier to getting an agreement now.
Well, given all these developments, Beth, could we see a return to all-out fighting right now between the U.S. and Iran?
We can't rule it out. I think at this point, Iran is using...
It's just inevitable, dude. It's just inevitable. Like, there's times where you can negotiate, and there's times where negotiation is purely impossible. There are times where the negotiations can work, but there are times where they just can't. And I think this is just one of those times where negotiations aren't going to work. By the way, if you guys agree with this, so if you guys think that negotiations aren't going to work, tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. I don't think these negotiations are going to go anywhere. Oh, and by the way, we're at 10,697 subs. We're almost to 11,000 subscribers. So if you guys can, tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner to help us grow. It does push the channel out quite a bit, as far as I know, by having more subscribers. Like I said, we're at 10,697 subs. So hopefully you guys can help.
What it has is real leverage, right? Iran has always had leverage on multiple fronts. They added a new one with the Strait of Hormuz, and they have said now publicly that now they could forcibly close the entire strait again, blockade it. Over the last 3 weeks, the United States has helped guide 70 ships through there. That's about 3 a day versus over 100 a day before the war. They're saying we could shut that down, and we could also shut a nearby choke point, which is controlled by a kind of an overlook by the Houthis, and that's the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. That would close the...
Thank you, Annie. Yeah, we're getting really, really close to the 10,000 subscriber marker, so I'm really excited about that. We're trying to get to, well, no, sorry, not 10,000. We're trying to get to 11,000 as quickly as we can, but we understand sometimes it can be slow. There are times where it's lulling. We're at 10,698 subscribers now. We're only 2 subscribers away from hitting 10,700, so that's very exciting. Like I said, once we got to 10,000, it started slowing down a little bit, for sure. But I noticed that the momentum's picking back up, so more people are subscribing to the channel again. It's amazing, and I love it. Sometimes there's going to be lulls where, the main thing is I got to keep showing up. I got to keep reacting, and I love reacting to these videos, dude. I'm addicted. I wouldn't say I'm addicted, but I enjoy reacting to videos and giving my input and then watching you guys get either love it or hate it or whatever you guys want to do. Hello, Richard Grissom. Everybody give a shout out to Richard Grissom. But yeah, no, I'm a Trump fan, dude. I think MAGA's still alive. Tap the subscribe button if you think MAGA's still alive, dude. I think MAGA's still going strong, baby.
The traffic that would go through the Suez. So they have that. They have the proxies, and then we have new reports of them digging out their underground missile sites where probably 1,000 missiles still.
Here's the thing, though, honestly, with the negotiations going south, because the negotiations have really gone south here, I think that we're going to... Oh, markets are not crashing, really. Not as much as I thought they would. Interesting. Let's take a listen. Let's take a look. So markets appear to be going... Gold is down, surprisingly. Let's see. It's not down by much. Gold is pretty stable. I'm actually kind of hoping that silver goes down a little bit. Well, silver's not necessarily at the level that I would like it to be. But I do feel like silver could go on a bull run, especially with all the uncertainty. So I'll buy back. I'm going to buy back into silver a little bit. I mean, I already have positions in silver and stuff like that, but just in the SLV ETF, not an endorsement or anything of the ETF. But yeah, I think it's good to remain as exposed to silver as I can, because it's just smart. Biddy. No, I made a good amount of money today on the biddy, though. That was tight. Anytime I can make money on the biddy, though, I get pretty excited. So I'm excited, man.
Will remain. So Iran is telling the United States, look, you sent back this tougher deal. We're hearing reports. We don't know what the details are, but we have leverage too, and we're not going to capitulate. We want the cessation of the Israeli growing offensive in Lebanon.
The Israelis say that they earlier said that they were preparing to strike what they call Hezbollah strongholds in the Beirut suburbs. Is Iran's declaration a way of trying to derail those plans?
Could very well be. I mean, a deal in Iran, this MOU for 60 days, and then leading on to a nuclear agreement.
So Larson's saying that copper will soon start to spike prices. Probably. That wouldn't surprise me.
And leaves out major issues that Israel went to war over and believes are key to their security. It doesn't deal with the proxy forces, and they're dealing with that right now in Lebanon. It doesn't deal with the missile program and the forces that they have. And we don't know where the nuclear program will go. So such an agreement only a few months before an Israeli election, due no later than October 27th, this for Netanyahu would be a nightmare. So he has every reason not to want such a deal. And the Iranians are playing along with that program. They don't look too eager right now either. So now the United States, which has been holding these military-to-military negotiations between the Lebanese government and Israel to try to figure out how to disarm Hezbollah, those become more important than ever. And President Trump is going to have to put, his fist on the table and force Netanyahu to pull back. That will not look good ahead of these elections either. So not in a good place for Netanyahu.
Iman Nasseri is an expert in energy economics focusing on the Middle East for the advisory firm FGE, joining me now live. And I want to take a look at the live oil price moving higher on this news. Iranian media reporting that Iran has suspended US talks over Israel's threat of further action in.
Now, this sucks because I don't know how long these talks are going to be suspended for. But it looks like Trump's going to have no other choice but to just go, boo. That's just the truth. I mean, that's just the truth. I mean, I think you guys know that I'm right, right?
Lebanon, including on Beirut. Are you surprised to see these prices moving higher on oil, for example? We're at nearly 97 on Brent. That would be a 6.5% rise. 93 and change on WTI, a near 7.5% rise today.
No, Becky, I'm not surprised. In fact, nothing has changed on the energy and oil market fundamentals since mid-March. In fact, even mid-April, when the blockade went into effect, the flows have been really marginal. There have been coordinated movement of vessels in and out, but nothing close to basically the pre-war levels. And all the price movements that we have seen from the highs of $120 plus per barrel Brent and way over $160 or more in terms of Dubai crude and the benchmark for Middle Eastern barrels, which have been absent from the market, and prices in excess of $200 for products. We came down mainly based on the peace narrative. It started with ceasefire, although immediately after that, we had the blockade, which basically killed all the hopes for peaceful resumption in flows. So nothing has really changed in terms of fundamentals. Supply has been absent from the market, but the market has been pricing in a soon deal to allow basically vessels to go in and out. Any headline that negates that hope or works against that basically should offset some of that calming impact and bring prices back towards $100 for Brent and even higher. And I wouldn't be surprised to see prices continue to rise to $100 or more in the coming hours if there isn't any reaction by the U.S. administration as the working hours begin. And if this situation stays in the sense that market believes that all the hopes given since
This is crazy, man. This is cray, dude. Wow. Oh, here's Reckless Ben's response to the police, by the way.
Regarding some videos currently circulating on social media.
So now I will offer a response to their response. There's a lot of new information in this response that I've been wanting to get for a long time, so we'll go over that first. One of the main questions in my video was, why did I get swatted for stealing the Legos when this wasn't a mystery to the police officers and they knew that I didn't steal the Legos, that Josh stole the Legos.
He basically stole a $200,000 collection of Star Wars Legos.
But still, why did they raid my house for stealing the Legos when there's an overwhelming amount of evidence that Josh stole the Legos?
Oh yeah, and there is. And this is why I'm so angry at the Mormon police in Utah. I'm not even going to call them real police officers. They're basically aligned. If they're aligned with the Mormon church, you're basically not real police officers. You're fake. You're fake.
When I requested the body cam footage of this to try to find the answers myself, they redacted everything, and they claimed it was to protect the victims. However, one of my friends set up a GoPro as we were getting swatted.
We'll get back, by the way, to We'll get back to more coverage.
And we caught the entire conversation on camera.
Included in the warrant are Legos.
For 3 months, the police department's answer has been, this redaction is important because it protects Josh, the victim of this case. However, we can clearly see that the police are looking for Legos and they saw no Legos.
Yep.
And they redacted this because they were embarrassed that they made such a stupid decision to SWAT the wrong person.
And the audio's on the GoPro too. I'm glad. I am so happy that Ben is publishing this because it's on the internet now. This isn't going to go away. The Utah police need to, seriously, the Utah police, for doing what they did, I'm just going to call them the Mormon police at this point. The Mormon police, basically, they did the wrong thing.
We're so embarrassed of swatting my house for stealing the Legos that in all of the police reports, it is completely redacted. The police department wants this information hidden so bad that they're willing to break the law to hide this from everyone. The only reason I know about it is because of the receipt I got the night I was released from jail and my friend's GoPro that was recording. So even though I've been asking them for 3 months why I got swatted, they finally came up with an answer, which is the Airbnb host told them that I stole the Legos.
During contact with the Airbnb owner, the owner reported overhearing conversations about possible stolen Legos.
Well, of course, because they're talking about stolen Legos. You want to know why they're talking about stolen Legos, you freaking twat? Is because they're talking about the fact that Josh stole the Legos. God, this guy's an idiot.
Specifically, officers wrote in the search warrant affidavit, the homeowner also disclosed that he could hear multiple individuals inside the residence speaking about possibly stolen Lego toys they had taken. Based on that information, officers added a request within the search warrant.
This guy talks like a Mormon, by the way. You know, you can usually tell when somebody's a Mormon by the way they talk.
Affidavit seeking authorization to also search for and seize possible stolen property, including Lego merchandise. 4th District Judge Roger W. Griffin reviewed and approved the search warrant.
I always like giving people the benefit of the doubt, and I will take the police officer's word on this, but something fishy is going on here, and everything can just be cleared up if you unredact the audio and let everyone see the truth. Also,
oh yeah, unredact that audio, dude.
So after we got raided and the police officers found no Legos, all of this footage has been redacted too. And my guess is if the police unredact this footage, we will find out the answers once and for all. While we were getting swatted, one of the police officers decided to injure me for absolutely no reason.
That's true. That's also
true. He claims
true.
It's because I was trying to make a fast movement.
Don't move like that. You understand?
Dude, he was about as still as possible, dude. Oh, that cute little kitty cat, though. I love that cat.
Me? Don't move like that. Don't move quick. Everybody just chill.
But when we replay the footage, you can clearly see I was not making any fast movements. However, the police department has an answer to this.
During Snyder's detention, Lieutenant Adamson took hold of Snyder's right arm. Lieutenant Adamson later reported that he felt Snyder tense his arm, at which point Adamson moved Snyder's right arm behind his back to place him into custody.
The police department has made it clear I did not, in fact, make any quick movements like the police officer claims I did. So the police officer was lying, but not fully, because I did tense my arm. However, he lunges at...
And he says, that this pissed me off last night. Yeah, these cops are exactly corrupt. And I'm glad that people are spreading this like wildfire, because if Ben goes to jail for any reason, there's going to be a shitstorm. There will be a shitstorm.
At me extremely fast before he even touches me. So how could he even know that I was tensing my arm before he even grabs me? That doesn't make any sense. There's only one solution. This police officer has psychic powers, and he could tell that my arm was tensing up before grabbing me. However, this makes no sense, because if the police officer did truly have psychic powers, he would have known that we were not the thieves, Josh and Brandon were the thieves. So this can't be the case either. I'm trying to have an open mind with these different possibilities of what this could be, but literally the only outcome left is that this police officer injured me for no reason. However, the police have another response to this of why I must be lying.
In the X-ray image displayed by Mr. Snyder in that video, a small L is visible in the upper right-hand corner of the x-ray. The L indicates the image is that of the left shoulder. The video shows Lieutenant Adamson handling Schneider's right arm during the arrest.
Yes, the stock footage I used to show what a dislocated shoulder is, an image that's clear.
Yeah, it's stock footage. It's not. This is so crazy. Oh my God. The Utah Police Department are so stupid.
Not mine, because I didn't go to the hospital. I went to jail. So how could I have taken this picture? But anyways, the stock image I used is of a left shoulder when my shoulder that got injured was my right shoulder. When I was editing this, I like to think highly of my audience that they would have known that this was a stock image and I wouldn't have to spoon feed every tiny detail to my audience. But now I realize that there's another portion of my audience called the American Fork Police Department that maybe I do have to spoon feed every single piece of information to. So
I am so angry right now.
I'm going to use this as constructive criticism, and in every single episode going forward now that I know that the American Fork Police Department's watching, I will be forced to spoon feed every single detail. As a professional slackliner, dislocating my shoulder is almost a monthly thing for me.
The whole weight of my arm is just on this bone.
Boon.
3 days before I got arrested, I had a
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Daniel Tosh ended up reviewing a video that Reckless Ben had done in the past. That's hilarious. Dude, fuck yeah.
really bad ski accident where I had a really bad dislocation of my shoulder, and any movement at all would have dislocated it. So I will say here, I don't think that the police officer was purposely trying to injure me. I think to a normal person, this would have been fine. But for me in particular, this was not...
Dude, Bricks and Minifigs and the Utah State Police are both terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. That's all I got to say. Unfortunately terrible.
Good, but it was still unjustified, and the police officer was just making up an excuse, and now they're making up an excuse to defend it. Another thing I find shocking is the chief of police, even after reviewing the dash cam footage, says that we ran a stop sign.
Richard
E.T., come on, man. E.T. saying he showed that image to make his audience think it's real. Ben, no, Ben's not a liar, dude. Coyote 3 says all police are not liars and criminals and all are not good. We've known for it. Like, police officers are human beings. There's some corrupt human beings out there, and there's some good human beings out there. It just depends. Look, human beings are human beings, whether they're police officers or whether they're nurses or firemen or whatever. Every human being, some are corrupt, some are not. Some have chosen a path of good, some have chosen a path of evil. This shit happens, unfortunately. I don't like it, but it happens.
Richardson initiated a traffic stop on the vehicle for failing to stop before the stop.
Dude, the way this guy talks is so ominous and creepy. You could tell he's a Mormon. Like, it's so obvious. He also has what I like to call the alleged Mormon face. He has the Mormon dialect. I look pretty Mormon, for God's sakes, but I will never stoop as low as to be part of the Church of Latter-day Saints. Hell no.
Stop line at a stop sign and failing to stop completely at that stop sign.
The chief of police looked at this video and said, we ran a stop sign. And now he's using that to say, this was a legal traffic stop. The police officers did nothing wrong. At this point, we thought the best thing to do was to take Josh to court so he can be legally accountable for the crimes he committed. However, to do that, we are first required to serve him court papers. So we did what the law told us to do. I got a process server, and we went to his house to do this the legal way. However, Josh did not want to do this the legal way, and instead called the police on us.
Joshua Johnson contacted police and reported he was going to shoot someone as a result of the ongoing harassment. Multiple officers immediately responded to the area.
Josh was so scared of going to court that he would rather shoot us than accept these court.
That's crazy, dude. Dude, that's crazy. In fact, that alone should be enough evidence to say that Josh is the piece of garbage in this. I mean, there's a lot of evidence to show that Josh and Bricks and Minifigs are the pieces of shits in this scenario. But dude, unbelievable.
Court papers. Josh's logic here is that if he can murder the process server and if he can murder me, then he can get away with his crimes because there'll be no one to sue him in court. However, sadly for Josh, murder is illegal.
Dude, Josh is insane. Like, the Josh guy is insane, dude.
And now he just admitted his plans to the police officers. The American Fork Police should at least be...
E.T., oh my God. E.T., are you a Bricks and Minifigs employee, by the way? Are you a Bricks and Minifigs shareholder? Are you invested in Bricks and Minifigs? I want to know, dude. Are you invested in them? Because it sounds like you are. Oh my God. E.T., you're killing me, bro. You're killing me, man. I love you, E.T., but come on, bro.
Arresting Josh for trying to use murder as a way to get out of court. But sadly, for some reason, they arrested me instead.
Trying to find you back. Am I being arrested? You're under arrest right now. Really?
Something about this seems off.
It's very off. It's not just seems off. It is off. It doesn't seem off. It is absolutely off. It's unethical. I think that you, Ben, I would love to see you sue the F out of these stupid Mormon police.
And all of the answers are in the body cam footage. However, they redacted all the body cam footage. So this is where I think if we all come together as a community, we can somehow convince the American Fork Police Department to unredact this footage so we can find out why they arrested me and not the guy who threatened to murder me.
Yeah. The dude who... that's crazy. Dude, we're living in clown world. We're living in clown world. So wait, E.T.'s an ex-employee, but that's beside the point. JK, both sides are gay. No, I like Reckless Ben though. I like his energy. I like his aura.
However, the American Fork Police does not want to unredact the footage.
My man Ben has good positive vibrational energy, man. I love it, dude.
Right now, and now have made up a new excuse of why I was the one justified being.
E.T. says Ben and Josh should just kiss and make up. I'm pretty sure our boy Tiny Lion Gaming could make an AI of that. Tiny Lion Gaming's good at making AI of things of that nature. Oh, man.
Being arrested.
Officer Sumbot contacted the Marion County Circuit Court in Oregon to verify the...
God, I hate the way this guy talks. He's such a beta.
...legitimacy of the paperwork.
He's such a beta.
The court confirmed that the case was indeed legitimate, but that papers had already been served and no hearing date had yet been scheduled.
The police department said the reason they arrested me and not Josh this day is because they called to confirm if this was a real court case, and they said it was real. However, the papers have already been served, and now I'm doing this solely to get YouTube content.
No,
and
they
if that's
haven't been
true,
served.
I would like to see footage of it. They released all the raw footage, and that part doesn't seem to be in the raw footage.
It's already been to court, or are you allowed to tell me kind of where they're at with the case?
There is no hearing date set, and there hasn't been a hearing in the case yet. All I see is the claim that was filed. I don't see proof of service or anything. The hearing wouldn't be set until a response is filed by defendant.
Okay, so the defendant needs to be served with papers before the case will, I guess, start?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you for your help. I think that's all for today. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, bye.
You could tell
Right
the
here,
cop is
the police
frustrated because he's wrong. You could tell. Like you see because he's clearly trying to set up. They are trying to set up Ben and his team. Seriously.
The officer admits that it is March 10th.
On March 10th, 2026.
However, you can see here that Josh doesn't get served until 3 days later, March 13th. So how could Josh have already been served on March 10th if he didn't get served until March 13th?
True.
Unless Josh is a time traveler. There's only one way to clear this all up. American Fork Police Department, show me the time machine. So now they say that I have done all the check marks which constitute stalking. Let's go through them.
Individual commits stalking if the individual intentionally or knowingly engages in a course of conduct directed at a specific individual
So yes, I did do an action that was targeted at a specific individual, but that's what's required by the court if I want to take someone to court.
Exactly.
If someone steals your stuff
and here's the thing, and he was trying to serve those papers through the legal means. So in a lot of ways, it's not stalking. Oh my God. Like, dude, the Utah Police Department is so corrupt. Like, I hope they get, dude, these Mormon police, dude, telling you, dude, pisses me off, dude.
You go through the legal process to take them to court. It is not considered stalking.
Like, I don't know how people's blood doesn't boil right now. If your blood is not boiling, man, check your pulse. I don't know. My blood is boiling from this. This is just so upsetting, man. This is upsetting to me. This pisses me off.
I have a right as an American to sue him.
Is reckless as to whether that course of conduct would cause a reasonable person to fear for the individual's own safety or the safety of another.
The second check mark is that if a reasonable person would be scared. The police are claiming that since this action made Josh scared, this check mark is complete. However, they've completely forgotten about the term reasonable. As we can see, Josh is not a reasonable person. This is someone who multiple times has tried to silence someone by accusing them of being on heroin.
Here's the crazy thing.
That's also a fake, and that's a fake accusation, by the way. That's also defamatory. Also, Josh called in a fake police report. That alone is terrible.
They told me that they took over that location because the owners were using the location to fund their heroin addiction.
What?
Yeah, and that's how they took it over, and saying they had like a pigeon in there that was crapping all over the Legos, and it smelled bad, all this stuff.
This is someone who threatened to murder me just for trying to serve him papers. This is not a reasonable person. It is not reasonable to threaten to murder someone just for serving papers. A reasonable person would accept the papers. So that second checkbox does not mean...
Yeah, he was trying to serve those papers, man. So, Josh is terrible. Dude, bricks in minifigs is awful. I cannot wait to see them go down.
The requirements.
Also, the Utah State Police is terrible, too.
I even tried explaining this to one of the police officers early on.
What the law says is if the average person would feel unsafe by our behaviors. So I think he's feeling unreasonably unsafe. A reasonable person would not feel unsafe in the situation. Well, I can say the same thing. I feel unsafe trying to conduct business with him, and he calls the police on me to hide. I feel unsafe because of that. Because we had a 3-hour search in our car. He said we had heroin in our car yesterday. We had a 3-hour search in our car. That makes me feel unsafe. I think that's reasonable for me to feel unsafe. It's not reasonable for him to feel unsafe.
So Josh is actually the one who said he was going to murder me if I take him to court. But now I'm the one that's being looked into for threatening to murder Josh. How does this make any sense?
Mr. Johnson alleged that Mansell had hired Benjamin Snyder to harass, stalk, vandalize the store, threaten to murder the manager of the store.
Now let's go to the heroin claim. We got pulled over by the police, and they claimed that we had heroin on us.
This officer is going to conduct the search of your person because
Yeah, and they didn't. That's the thing. They didn't actually have any drugs on them, so.
Most of this footage is redacted. So again, there's a big mystery of what happened. Can we all come together and convince the American Fork Police Department to unredact this so we can find out the truth? However, what the police is claiming now is that they did not get a call saying that we had heroin on us. Instead, they could just tell from the second we pulled over that our eyes were glossy.
During the interaction, Officer Fraughton indicated he believed Shaw's eyes appeared glossy and expressed concern regarding possible impairment.
If we look back on the raw footage, this is what the police officer said his first interaction with us was like.
Good with these guys being able to drive?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't see anything clear as day with Tyler that I noticed.
What's the goal of...
Right now? Yeah, I was gonna scare him a little bit and let him go is all I really was gonna do.
Do we have charges, or are we just tired of them being annoying?
It seems hard to take what the chief of police is saying seriously because so far almost everything he said is a lie. So the only way we can actually find out the truth is if we unredact everything. We already know the victim's name is Joshua Johnson. Why do we have to keep that protected? His name is already out there.
Yeah.
None of these
it already is.
redactions are protecting anything except for the police. And now,
Yeah, I think it's protecting the police straight up. It really is. And that's corruption, dude. That is levels of corruption that blows my mind. It blows my freaking mind.
I want to acknowledge my friend Sheldon's arrest.
The group stated they were supporting a GoFundMe campaign for a dying man. One of the individuals, later identified as Sheldon Norcross, Officer Richardson then decided to seize Norcross's phone, pending the approval of a search warrant, in order to preserve potential evidence and prevent the deletion or alteration of any data. According to Officer Richardson's report, when Norcross was informed that the phone was going to be seized, Norcross immediately began manipulating the device.
The police officer...
No, he just pressed the power button. Put it on lock screen so that way you guys wouldn't... Because you guys are already clearly corrupt police. You know what I mean? You're clearly corrupt police officers.
Claims that Sheldon was arrested because he opened his phone to start deleting...
did the police officer guy that's doing all this bullshit, did he not watch the evidence? Should be clear as day that you have a corrupt police department, and also clearly the guy who's doing this is clearly a corrupt police chief or whatever the hell his position is.
However, we can clearly see in the footage...
Allegedly. Ugh.
Sheldon's thumb is heading towards that lock button to lock his phone. His phone was open when he pulled it out, and the phone was transitioning from on to off, not from off to on. From this response, it almost seems like the police officers didn't even watch the video. So American Fork Police Department, if I'm your teacher, here's your homework. First off, learn the facts of what actually happened. Second off, stop lying about the facts. No one's believing it. The third
Dude, we need to share the hell out of this, by the way. Wow. Yeah, this is police corruption exposed, dude. This is the Mormon Lego Mafia, yep. Bro unlocked a whole portal of corruption. Dude, this is great. I'm proud of this guy. Thank you, Ben, for exposing this bullshit.
thing is unredact the audio that
To hell with Utah, by the way.
makes the police look bad. Some of the best lawyers in the United States are reaching out to me right now, so eventually this is going to get released. Wouldn't you just like to get this over with sooner rather than dragging this out? The more we drag this out, the more content we get, so this only benefits me to drag this out. It doesn't benefit you. If you unredact the illegally redacted parts now, you'll win over audience support much faster. It's kind of funny because a lot of you guys probably think I'm trying to make fun of this other cop by how he was talking.
Brother, you mind turning up the volume? Holy, it's actual ASMR. Wow. I cannot really hear him. Why is he whispering?
No, I'm actually just super sick right now. I haven't been sleeping because I'm trying to get out part 3 as fast as I can. And that's caused me just to stay up all night, every night, and not sleep. And now I'm sick and have no voice. But yeah, I guess it kind of, I don't know why that police officer was talking with such a low, quiet voice, but that's why I am, at least. I wasn't making fun of him. I literally am just genuinely sick. But if you want to see part 3, subscribe to my Patreon at patreon.com/recklessben. Part 3 will be up there very soon. Part 2, I'm only dealing with misdemeanors, but part 3 is when they start accusing me of felonies. So it gets insane. But yeah, stay tuned. I'm going to crank out videos in the meantime until part 3 is done. But thanks for all the support, and let's find Brian's Legos.
Damn, dude. Damn, dude, this is crazy, man. Oh my God. This is wild, man. No, I love it, man. So Iran collapses as regime leader assassinated? What? Whoa. I gotta look this up. I mean, this is wild, you guys. I'm just kind of blown away, man. I'm just blown away by this, man. This is wild, man. Crypto rules. Hold on. What's going on? Jamie Dimon?
Are you happy with the way the Clarity Act is turning out?
No. No, because it allows them to effectively pay interest on deposits, stable coins or something like that.
Anyway, sorry about that. Thank you. Hey, thank you guys for the subscribes. Hey, thank you guys for tapping the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the channel in a lot of ways. You guys are making the channel grow in more ways than one. Appreciate it. Let's go, dude.
That without the protection that they should have, and it doesn't do anything for AML BSA. It has almost no legal protections. So no, it's the banks will not accept it that way.
They won't
and the ABA, the small banks, the credit unions, it's not just the big guys. I'm not worried about stablecoin, but if it happened, I'm telling you, I would have nothing to do with it, and it would eventually blow up on its own. Okay,
Yep.
but that's my personal thing. But I do understand the concern of all the other banks. So,
well, the markup.
Well, here's the thing. Jamie Dimon, if I remember correctly, I don't believe Jamie Dimon believes in cryptocurrency at all. He has the same mindset that I do about crypto, that crypto is a grift. that crypto is ridiculous. Yeah, crypto sucks.
Up is coming. I mean, what are you going to do about it?
It is. We'll fight it. If we lose, we lose, and we'll live.
Okay.
But it will be fought. This will not be. No one's going to bow down to this guy, okay, or that company. And but he's the only one.
Yeah.
And he's spending hundreds of millions of dollars in Washington this thing.
He said he's representing the whole industry.
Well, that was JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon going after Coinbase CEO.
Yeah, Coinbase sucks, dude. Crypto sucks in general, dude. I like Jamie Dimon. I'm glad he's anti-crypto, though. It gives me hope that there is some sanity in the world. Jill Biden blames Trump for a decision to pardon Hunter.
So former.
How about this? How about you blame your son, Hunter? How about you blame Hunter Biden for being a total piece of garbage?
First Lady Jill Biden putting herself back in the spotlight, not only opening up about her husband's disastrous debate performance, but also his decision to pardon his son Hunter on federal tax and gun charges.
Joe said in the beginning, I won't pardon Hunter, I won't pardon Hunter. But then when Trump was elected, things changed, and we knew that he would target Hunter. I truly supported it. I wanted him to pardon Hunter at that point.
So Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett joins us now. Hey, Greg, does that surprise you, her rationale for the pardon for Hunter?
Well, it doesn't surprise me. You know, look, she's out there hawking her new book that comes out tomorrow, trying to repair her tarnished image by rewriting history.
Yeah, honestly, the more she shows herself, because I totally forgot about Jill Biden, but honestly, people don't like her. I honestly think she's evil. She let Joe Biden run. I think she's evil for that because it's clear I don't think Joe Biden was cognizant at all, dude. So I think what she did was pretty darn evil. I don't respect her in any way. I think what she did was horrid.
Through deceit, you know, but rationalizing how she and her husband could not let her son go to jail despite his lawful convictions. I think that only exposes her sense of privilege, elitism. It's okay for other sons to go to jail, but not ours because,
not ours.
You know, we're special.
Not our good little Hunter. Hunter Biden would never do anything wrong. Of course Hunter Biden would do things wrong because he's clearly done things wrong several times over and over and over and over and over again. So there's that. Freaking Hunter Biden, though. The more I hear about Hunter Biden, the more sick I am. He just makes me sick, dude. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden makes me sick. Jill Biden the whole Biden family makes me sick. The whole Biden family makes me sick to my stomach. It is just gross.
Look, Joe Biden always planned to pardon Hunter, and promising the opposite repeatedly was just a lot of pre-election garbage to get votes. But, you know, now Jill compounds the dishonesty by claiming no one has ever gone to...
Annie says Jill Biden is power hungry and doesn't care about anything or anyone else. Yeah, exactly. You know, and that's why a lot of people say that what she did was elder abuse. Because to allow Joe Biden to run again, that's even to run in general, that was elder abuse to begin with, even in 2020. It was clear that Biden was not all there. It was extremely clear. By the way, we're at 10,699 subscribers. Once again, we're at 10,699 subs. If you guys can, do not forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner, as it does help the channel grow in more ways than one. Let's keep going.
To jail for what her son did. That's a provable lie. Lots of people have gone to jail for the exact same gun charges, including in Delaware. And don't forget, you know, Hunter's pardon also covered his tax evasion guilty plea. And hundreds of people are convicted and sentenced each year for that. And it also shielded him from potential influence peddling and money laundering charges.
Oh, yeah. Hunter Biden is the only reason he is able to get away with this because he was the president's kid. He has that privilege. That's the privilege he's got. It's true.
He was under investigation. Again, plenty of people end up behind bars for tax fraud and other things. So, you know, Jill.
Oh, we're at 10,700 subs, everybody. Woo! Thank you guys for making it happen. Thank you guys for pressing the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It really does help the channel in a lot of ways. 10,700 subs, man. We're just climbing every day. We're climbing every day. We're eventually trying to get to 20,000. But, no, I just appreciate the engagement, you guys. Yeah, it's amazing. You guys have kept this channel alive more than you realize, so I appreciate all you guys.
Is just gaslighting, and even her former spokesman is calling her out, Brian, for bending the truth.
Absolutely. So a couple of things about Hunter Biden. He was prosecuted by his Justice Department, and remember what he, the president, and his spokesperson said repeatedly. Watch.
From a presidential perspective, is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
Well, is there?
I just said no.
Would the president pardon or commute his son if he's convicted?
So I've answered this
You know the answer. Yes, yes, and yes.
question before. It was asked of me not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and I was very clear, and I said no.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
So
he's like, yes, dude. He's such a liar, dude. If there's one thing we could say about Joe Biden, we know the guy's a pathological liar. We know the guy lied. I'm gonna say allegedly lied for a living, and yeah, he's terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible.
That was wrong, and we knew it then. I never saw a book get more pushback before it was released than Jill Biden's book. And the seconds remaining, what's it going to be like for the Democratic Party as they have to relive those 4 years of ridiculousness again?
Yeah, I mean, she's just reminding everyone, you know, of her husband's failing mental health. And it was so predictable, Brian, you know, blaming Trump for Hunter's pardon, claiming she feared he'd be targeted by Trump. She conveniently overlooks the fact it was her husband's own Department of Justice that prosecuted Hunter Biden on tax and gun charges. And Joe Biden's DOJ was also investigating Hunter for influence peddling, money laundering. They kept stalling despite the incriminating.
That is so crazy, dude. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that Hunter was doing all that crap, but it's just still crazy to me that it went on so far, you know.
Evidence, you know, it was a protection racket, you know. So, you know, when Trump was reelected, good old dad didn't just pardon him for all his convictions, but 11 years worth of suspected crimes, Brian.
Absolutely. And we'll see, because the good news is Joe Biden's got his book out. So we're going to relive this again, maybe just in time for the next election.
Oh, wait, Joe Biden's got a book out too? So Joe and Jill both released a book. Of course they did. Got to get one more cash grab post being the president. It's freaking crazy, dude. Unreal.
Greg Jarrett, thanks so much.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube.
I mean, this is crazy, man. Shrubby bricks. Let's take a look.
Who would have ever thought in 2026 we would have police statements on YouTube regarding the theft of Lego? Well, that's exactly what's happened. The police have come out and made a massive statement against loads of different things, because as you've seen from Ben's video, they are in on all of this, allegedly. But yeah, if you've been living under a rock and have missed what's happened, basically a company called Bricks and Minifig.
And I just heard about this yesterday, and thank you, Tim Smith, by the way, for sending me this stuff yesterday and letting me know about it. Because this is crazy to me. I mean, this is wild. I still can't believe this shit's happening, man.
They took on a consignment of a family's Lego collection, and when the store changed hands, that Lego was lost/stolen. Now the family...
That's so crazy. The insane new evidence could expose Bricks. Yeah, Bricks and Minifigs, dude. It's a scandalous company, clearly.
Now 18
Interesting. Iranian reveals red line in U.S.
past
peace
the
talks.
hour,
Let's
the
take a
U.S.
look.
and Iran trading a new, fresh round of strikes overnight as we await word on a potential peace deal. President Trump weighing in over the weekend on the status of negotiations with Lara Trump on Saturday.
But we're close to a very good deal, and if we can make it good, otherwise we just start up with the Department of War. The one guarantee that I have to have is that there will be no nuclear weapons. They've agreed to that. And it was very interesting. They originally said, we will not develop a nuclear weapon. I said, well, what happens if you buy a nuclear weapon? So now it says we will not develop or in any way purchase a military weapon. That's a big difference.
All right, Trey Yingst, he's got the difference now. He makes the difference in Tel Aviv, and he's live with more. Trey, where are we? Hello.
Yeah, hey, Bill, good morning. U.S. forces conducted multiple strikes on Iranian targets over the weekend. According to Central Command, we understand these strikes went after Iranian radar systems and command and control sites for drones in Gorak, Iran, along the coast and on Keshem Island. CENTCOM described the action as defensive in nature to prevent Iran from attacking international shipping lanes and after Iran shot down a $4 million U.S. drone. The Iranians responded by targeting Kuwait with drones and missiles early this morning. Overnight, President Trump posted to Truth Social saying, in part, Iran really wants to make a deal and it will be a good one for the USA and those that are with us. Iran's parliament speaker and top negotiator Mohammad Khalibaf said this on Sunday.
Muhammad Sharif, don't like it. Rock the Casbah.
About the ongoing talks.
What matters to us are the tangible achievements we must obtain in order to undertake our own commitments in return. And until we are certain that we have secured the rights of the Iranian nation, we will not approve any agreement.
So, no agreement, it sounds like, and it sounds like it's all, I think it's going to be flushed down the toilet. I think Iran's screwed. Iran's screwed. Iran's cooked. I think we just should stop negotiating with them. I really do. I think it's just a bad idea to keep negotiating with Iran. It's just not going to work.
New this morning, Iran's foreign minister trying to attach the possible deal with the United States to the situation in Lebanon. He said on X, the ceasefire between Iran and the U.S. is unequivocally a ceasefire on all fronts, including in Lebanon. Its violation on one front is a violation of the ceasefire on all fronts. The U.S. and Israel are responsible for the consequences of any violation. Over the weekend, Hezbollah launched more than 50 rockets into northern Israel as Israeli ground forces push deeper into southern Lebanon. This morning, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered the IDF to strike the Lebanese capital of Beirut, specifically the Dahya neighborhood, a Hezbollah stronghold. Since that announcement, thousands have fled the area in this part of Beirut in cars and on foot.
There will not be a situation where Hezbollah attacks our cities and our citizens and its terror headquarters in Beirut, and the Dahya remain out of bounds.
Iranian officials still trying to tie the situation in Lebanon to a broader agreement with the United States. Bill?
Trey, one of the questions I get the most over the weekend was why it's so difficult to try and read between the lines on the negotiations. And it could be because the president's keeping his cards close. And it could be because the Iranian leadership is so filled with subterfuge over the years.
It's just not going to work, dude. There's no... And look, I don't like to be pessimistic. I really don't. But this is bad, dude. You just can't work with Iran. There's just no way. No way. Anyway, I want to make myself a chicken quesadilla. Hold on. Yo, yo, yo. Party time in the house. All right, we're back. We are back. Let's go. All right. Yeah, I like energy drinks. They're not bad. I mean, not the best thing for you, but I like them.
Based on your experience there in the region, how would you best address that question, Trey?
Yeah, Bill, it's a great question. And look, it's a game of telephone for the Iranians. They have a network of couriers, and they are delivering messages from negotiators like the parliament speaker Kalibov to Iran's supreme leader Mustafa Khamenei, who is likely hiding deep underground, worried that if this war does resume, he would be a primary target for the United States and Israel. And so this is one reason why it's been so difficult to get information out of Iran.
Okay,
Bill?
Trey, back at it again on this Monday. Thank you, Trey Yinks in Tel Aviv. Jillian's got more.
All right, let's bring in Rebecca Heinrich. She is a senior fellow at the Hudson Institute. Rebecca, it is a whole new world, new way of doing business. As we've talked about before, President Trump is going at this thing every which way, all at once. He's trying to negotiate a deal while threatening the use of military force, while using military force, targeting the Iranians. Is it ultimately going to work out in his favor, though?
Well, Jillian, that was.
I think it will. I think it'll work out in Trump's favor. We just gotta. I don't know. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I do spend money on energy drinks, don't get me wrong, but in a lot of ways, honestly, they're just cheap, easy. I mean, I buy energy drinks pretty much in bulk, so I'm able to get them at a pretty low price for the most part. But I only drink half of an energy drink a day. So I'm literally only drinking like 8 ounces of an energy drink a day. So it ends up working out in the end.
It's great reporting by Trey. I want to add also to what he just said. The other thing that's difficult about the United States negotiating with these Iranians is some of the individuals who we think may want a deal, some of those leaders we just heard from, do not feel like they have the ability to enforce it because you have the IRGC shooting at U.S. forces and operating along the coastline. This is why the United States Central Command continues to act defensively to try to get ships through the strait at the same time negotiations continue. So over the weekend, we heard that the United States struck these IRGC anti-ship sites, command and control on Qasem Island. That island is a central node system for all of Iran's coastal defenses. So even though we might feel very frustrated that we're not getting closer to negotiations, the Trump administration is still weakening Iran's coercive control over the United States.
So wait, so Larson Christopher says that's a lot of caffeine though. 200 milligrams of caffeine though. Whew, that's a little too much for me, man. I mean, I only drink about roughly 70 to 80 milligrams of caffeine a day. It kind of gives me that extra boost that I need, but nothing too crazy. And electrolyte complex. Yeah, I mean, I definitely go. It's funny as I get a lot of my B vitamins from the energy drinks that I drink, and yeah.
United States by taking out a lot of these really key systems along the Strait of Hormuz's coastline. Jillian.
They are, though, the regime proving very adept at one thing, and that is buying themselves time. A lot of experts I've been talking to are questioning President Trump's claims that those at the top really do want a deal. They say what these people actually want is to be negotiating a deal that never goes anywhere.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that the Iranians want to simply wear down the United States and its regional allies and partners, wear them down politically. We've got elections coming up. And so they think that time is on their side when it comes to the political timeline. I would argue that President Trump actually understands this correctly, that time is on our side because of the pressure that the United States continues to put on Iran. Jillian, economically, over the weekend, the United States put more sanctions on these shadow networks in Hong
I want to try an experiment. We're going a little ham, you guys. We're going kind of ham at the moment. One moment. Give me a moment. Whoa, you guys are talking about polls never going my way? I know a few things about polls. No, I'm just kidding. I am kind of curious. Well, I don't want to watch that police video again because that was sad, dude. That was just pathetic. Dude, go Reckless Ben, though. I'm so happy about what Reckless Ben is doing, dude. He's so cool. Like, Reckless Ben's my hero, dude.
Hong Kong, read China, that has been helping Iran evade sanctions. And then, of course, putting on this, it's essentially Project Freedom to put pressure on these IRGC coastal defenses while letting, I heard over the last 3 weeks, we've quietly helped 7.
Hey, by the way, we're at 10,701 subscribers. Once again, 10,701 subs. Let's go, bro.
70 ships get through the Strait of Hormuz. And so we're getting oil flowing even as the United States, again, at least rhetorically, is trying diplomacy, Jillian.
One person who agrees with you on that point, Secretary of War Hegseth. Take a listen to what he said.
Having been in the room with him, I know he means it when he looks in the camera in the cabinet room and said they can either do this now through a deal, and we think we're in a good place to make that deal, or they can deal with the War Department. And we are prepared. We're postured even stronger today than we were on day one to address it that way if we have to, but he'd prefer not to.
How much more time would you give the regime if you were leading these negotiations on the U.S. side?
Well, look, I would just keep our goals in mind. Our goal is to get the Strait of Hormuz open and make sure that the Iranians are not the ones that can control and coerce over the strait. And we are chipping away exactly at that goal. Yeah. And, of course, the other goal is to make sure that the Iranians never have a nuclear weapon. And I'm very comfortable right now that the military action that the United States and Israel has already taken has already bought us a significant amount of time.
I can agree with that.
I think as long as we're getting ships through the Strait of Hormuz, it's essentially, again, it's Project Freedom, except we're just not calling it that. And then, then I'm comfortable that the United States can continue to squeeze the regime. I think that President Trump also understands that he cannot permit the unfreezing of Iranian resources. And the Qataris have already said we're not going to unfreeze this $12 billion that we've frozen in these.
Good, because those funds need to be frozen, straight up. Straight the F up, dude. Those funds need to be frozen, and frozen. If you guys can, though, don't forget to double tap if you guys believe that Trump is on the right path, double tap your screen to like the stream. I think Trump's on the right path. I really do. But double tap your screen to like the stream. Let's go.
Iranian account. And so as long as the Iranians do not get any relief, there's no reason for the United States to grant them relief, then we are the ones that have the total military and economic advantage.
And as long as they are continually prohibited from accessing the so-called nuclear dust buried deep beneath rubble in the mountains there. Rebecca Heinrichs, thanks for joining us this morning. Good to talk to you. Bill?
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Oh, we got Texas Jane in the house. What's up, Texas Jane? Everybody give a shout out to Texas Jane, everybody. We got, of course, Annie in the house. Annie said that she has one coffee and that's it. Yeah, honestly, that's the thing. I try not to overdo it on the caffeine front. I try to, lower down how much caffeine I have. Because if I drink too much caffeine, I get kind of crazy.
For all the
I'm already a little crazy, so yeah. This is crazy. Iran closes Hormuz as
breaking news just came in right now, Rob.
Look, I'm not the biggest fan of Pat Bet David, but he could be an interesting source of news. And he could be a bit of a break from hearing Fox News, which Fox News kind of pisses me off too. So anyway, Iran closes Hormuz as peace talks collapse.
With the Strait of Hormuz, Iran said they're shutting it down. They're not keeping it open. They're closing it. And it's mainly around the stories of Lebanon and Israel fire that is going on. That's what they're saying the stories behind.
Oh, dude, first game of the NBA Finals is going to be June 3rd. Knicks versus the Spurs, baby. Go Spurs, dude. I hope the Spurs win.
They're shutting down the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has accused Trump administration of ceasefire violations and will move to close Strait of Hormuz and stop exchanging messages with the U.S. through intermediaries. Iran state-affiliated outlet just said this. The report translated.
Garza, you ignored the other items in my mix. Let me see. Well, you can get caffeine 100 milligrams per pill. Okay, so you can get 100 milligrams per pill, and it's an electrolyte complex. So you basically said, let's see, nitrous oxide booster, super vitamin B complex, and caffeine pills. So wait, you got those combined were under 50 cents? Well, hold on. Where do you get these from, dude? Hold on. Like, Larson, like, where do you purchase these from? Do you, like, purchase these online, or do you purchase these, like, at, like, a local 7-Eleven or, like, the Dollar Tree or something?
From a post on the messaging app Telegram pointed to Israel's military operations in Lebanon against the Iranian-backed militia Hezbollah as a violation of the...
Well, let me know, like, what website... Oh, you just go to Walmart online. Okay. Is it all in one pill? By the way, or are these multiple pills? Because that's not bad, man. That's not bad at all.
Ceasefire with the U.S. Go a little bit lower, Rob. The report said an Israeli ceasefire in Lebanon is a precondition for the ceasefire between Iran and U.S. and the ceasefire has now been violated.
I'll make a mental note of that. I may go to that. I may go for that.
On all fronts, Iran's again. Abbas Arghachi posted on social media X that Lebanon is included in the ceasefire with the U.S. and any violation on the front shall be considered violation of all fronts. The U.S. and Israel bear responsibility for the consequences of any breach of the truce. If you want to go a little bit lower, Rob, to wrap it up, Israel announced Sunday it's captured Lebanon's, is that the name?
The Beaufort.
Beaufort
Castle,
that you
showed
the one we talked about earlier. Yeah, Beaufort.
Hold on. I'm cooking a quesadilla, so hold on. All right, this is a pretty hot quesadilla. It is a very, very hot quesadilla. Holy crap. It's a good quesadilla. Let's keep going.
BB on Monday ordered attacks, etc. So here's a part when I read this, by the way. When I read this, it makes me think about two things when you see this. One is the fact that they want you to leave Hezbollah alone. Isn't that one of their proxy militaries that they have?
That
is on a rampage. I remember growing up with Hezbollah myself in Iran. So they want you to leave.
Yeah, we should, honestly, I think it's a joke to even try to talk peace with Iran. The only language they don't know the language of peace. Iran's government does not know the language of peace. So there's no point in us even trying to discuss peace. with somebody, with a country that I believe doesn't, with a government that doesn't want peace. Iran's government does not want peace. So it's multiple pills. Got ya. Okay, so it's a lot of science in the ingredient mix. Got ya. Yeah, Iran's just stalling, exactly. Iran is completely stalling on this one. I agree.
Near their proxy military, the Hezbollahs, the Houthis, part of the term is to leave them alone. Oh, that makes a lot of sense when you're negotiating with them. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, but the part that they're getting this bold now goes back to the conversation that we had. There's something going on internally with these guys. The extremists do not want to give up the power.
Yeah.
The extremists do not want to give up the power. So as you're negotiating with them and they're closing the Strait of Hormuz, Adam, your thoughts on this?
Oh, they're playing games, Pat. And I'll tell you why. Why would Lebanon be included in a ceasefire with Iran and the United States?
Because Hezbollah is funded by them. It's one of their militaries that
because
proxies.
basically, I said Lebanon is now Iran first.
Precisely.
People accuse America's owned by Israel.
Do me a favor first.
Yeah.
Can you show me what the gas prices are? What are gas prices showing right now? What's happened since this announcement? I'm curious to know how.
$6.50 on WTI oil.
Zoom in. Okay, it just went up.
$7.12 now.
So eight.
Look at that spike.
8.8 and 8+% increase. 94.48. So it's real. It's a real thing. Adam, continue.
Look, Iran's playing games. Put yourself in each of these people's positions. Let's say you're Israel for a second. You're like, hey, we're not even in the room, so just let us know what's in the agreement. They go, yeah, you can't. Part of the agreement is you can't go after Hezbollah anymore in Lebanon. And Israel goes, yeah, but they're shooting rockets into our cities.
Yeah.
So what do you want us to do? So Israel, because they actually have an existential threat, literally, they're like, no, dude, we're going to go after the terrorist regime.
And honestly, I don't usually agree with Israel on a lot of stuff, but in this instance, I'm going to agree with Israel. They should absolutely. If there's missiles that are being launched towards their direction and it's from Iran or Hezbollah or wherever, you have to fight back. You can't just take that on the chin.
That's basically embedded themselves in Lebanon, known as Hezbollah. We can't condone this. And Iran goes, look, you see, they're just blame Israel. They broke the ceasefire again. And then do you remember what J.D. Vance says? Do you remember what Marco Rubio says? Do you remember what Trump said? He goes, yeah, Hezbollah was never part of the ceasefire. Do you remember that?
Of course.
J.D. Vance was like standing in front of a Air Force Two or something
Hezbollah
like
is
that.
not a part of it yet.
Because no, they're trying to input that into the ceasefire.
I get that.
Into the agreement.
But I'm going to tell you something as well, Adam. There is no way Israel wants this war to stop.
Well,
there is no
Israel
way.
wants a regime change.
I know they do. So then which, by the way, to the people that believe Hezbollah is bad, Houthis are bad, all these military proxies that they fund, that whatever money comes to them, they put it and make those strong. For those, that would be part of the side of the argument you would be with. But to me, if you're watching Bibi's moves, Bibi does not want this deal to get done.
Well,
they don't want the deal to get done.
You would know better than me. There's one word why Iran, the IRGC, does not want this to get done. And that word is revolution. If the IRGC and the Ayatollah is no longer running the Islamic Republic of Iran, you know what that means? That means the revolution is done. The whole concept that they want is this Islamic revolution to take over not only the Middle East, but the world. So if there's an actual regime change in the IRGC, the Islamic, what does it stand for?
I think we could see a real regime change. I think there is something that's happening. Something's happening, man.
Revolutionary Guard Corps, that means the revolution is done. So like I said at the beginning of the podcast, I don't see a deal getting done.
This war is
and until they actually finish the job, I don't think we're leaving this.
What is finishing
But here's
the
my
job?
point. Either they do it now, or they
Finish
do
the
this in
job
50
means
years.
different things to different people.
Finish the job, Adam, is literally nuke them. That's the only wipe them all out because they're not going to give up.
To the
No, nuclear weapons are not an option. That should never be an option. Vinny is... I don't like Vinny. He pisses me off. I'm not a big fan of any of the guys on PBD. I think they're kind of annoying. But here's the thing. Nuclear weapons are not required here. but Iran should never have a nuke.
The conversation about Kharg Island.
Well, my question to you is, what is finishing the job? Please, I want to know what finishing the job, because he makes it.
God, Vinny is so fucking annoying. Like, he's right on certain things, but his delivery is beyond annoying. He just gets outraged by everything. Vinny gets outraged by everything, and he starts yelling, and it's just so fucking annoying. Like, I would side with Vinny if he could just be calm and collect for once in his fucking life.
It's a great point.
Yeah,
Bibi doesn't
it's
want
for him. The finishing the job is a regime collapse or regime change. Yeah. That's what finishing the job. But to me, let me go through again. It goes back to those 5 communities, right? It goes to IRGC, which is Khamenei. It goes to the moderates like Pezeshkian, who claimed he was resigning yesterday, and now Mojtaba, he needs to prove it. Then you have U.S., then you have the world, and then you have Israel. Israel wants one thing. Okay, Israel wants one thing. Bibi wants regime change, regime collapse all. I don't think Trump is sitting here now saying he wants the same thing as Bibi does. I don't think they share the common agenda. Look what Mark Levin is doing. Mark Levin is calling out nonstop.
Oh yeah, I like Vinny more than Adam. I mean, Adam's an idiot, but here's the thing. Honestly, Vinny still pisses me off though. He gets angry about every single thing. He just I don't know how. He's this guy. One of the reasons it's really tough for me to like Vinny is just because he gets angry all the time. It's like, come on, bro. I understand getting outraged. I get it. I get angry on this show. But at the same time, it's like talk with a little bit of, without needing to raise your voice.
Trump negotiating with them. Same with Cruz, same with others. Which, by the way, again, that's their position on what they want. It doesn't seem to be Trump's position. The way they get him back in by creating chaos like this and making the deal to be difficult to be done. But by the way, Vinny, a part of it which I kind of side with them is the following. I'm okay, like, if this goes with moderates running Iran, but if they're going to go and IRGC is still running the whole thing, there is no deal. You can't believe a single word that comes out of their mouth. Not one word that comes out of IRGC's mouth. Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust the IRGC for the life of me, dude. I don't know how anybody could. You just can't. Period. End of story.
You can't believe a single thing that they're saying. So
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But here's my thing. From the beginning of this, did they not realize these people were going to act exactly as these are the people that say death to America?
Sometimes you don't know how powerful. Sometimes you don't know what their capabilities are. By the way, they showed themselves that they can stand up.
Heck yeah.
No,
what do you mean no?
Well, they showed themselves that they're willing to kill their people and kill all their neighbors.
No, but here's my question though. The Navy's gone, the Air Force is gone. What? Here's my question. The Navy's gone. They keep bragging that's the bottom of the sea.
Yeah.
Air Force, they're decimated. How are they still
They
controlling
still have missiles
and
that they're willing,
and the regime isn't
that
changing.
they're willing to hit their neighboring countries.
That's what I'm saying.
If I'm UAE,
what were they using to
or
plant
Saudi, I'm way
mines?
more worried than Israel.
Yeah, exactly.
Floaties?
What did you say, Tom?
Yeah.
You said their Navy's at the bottom of it. Really? Then what were they using? They were using small, fast boats. They still have them. Nimble, small boat to plant mines as recently as a week and a half ago. That was a Thursday before Memorial Day, right?
Yeah.
So they still had some capability out there because we sat there and go to, hey, excuse me,
Yeah.
you with the mine?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, right? It's right. You're about to enter the TSA express lane to see Allah, dude. Unless you want to just go.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you saying? No, Tario, dude. Adam Cooper. Enrique was innocent, dude. Enrique was innocent, in my opinion.
Go and back off here. I'm being ridiculous,
Yeah,
but I'm
you're
not
still-
being incorrect.
No,
That's
I
what's
agree.
going on. And Israel's coming back, and it's like Israel's now playing football in
One simple question for Pat. Is there any deal that the IRGC, the Ayatollah, would honor ahead of the Allah revolution of Islamic caliphate? Is there any deal they would honor above that?
I don't trust IRGC for a second. And I don't like
I don't think anybody does. Why would you?
the fact that Pezeshkian is being pushed out and not being involved in decision making, because it tells you the extremists are still having a chokehold on everybody, and they're going to use this as a victory against everybody. but I also understand what Bibi's doing. Bibi is going to extend the lifespan of this war by not stopping attacking Hezbollah, Lebanon. Bibi is going to extend that because he doesn't want that deal. And whether that's going to hurt his relationship with Trump or not, who knows? Behind closed doors, all the stuff that's happening. And, who knows IRGC better, Trump or Bibi?
Well, Bibi.
Who's going to know the DNA of those guys? Gulf states or America? Gulf states. Gulf states are unified against the IRGC. So I don't know. I don't know. I would tell you, if you really wanted to prolong it, take out Pezeshkian. If Pezeshkian is taking on next couple weeks, that's like a real way of saying, nope, we're not. Kill all the moderates. I'm not telling you.
I want to try another experiment, you guys. I'm sorry I keep experimenting with the show. I think I just figured out something. All right, let's keep going. Let me set up something real quick, though. Hold on. Hold your horses. Hold your horses now. Okay, so let's keep watching this. This is interesting, man.
What they're going to say is like, if they kill all the moderates, and that's what they do, that's their way of saying you're left with them. Do you want to negotiate with them, or do you want to get rid of them? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying or not.
I get it.
Forcing you to a hand to say, all right, who do you want to do? And so now, dirty strategy, effective strategy, call it whatever you want, but they're at least their strategy is get rid of all the moderates, so you're forced to only deal with IRGC, and then you learn IRGC is not people like you and I to negotiate with. Then guess what the job is. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's going to happen with this slippery slope going back and forth. Has Trump tweeted anything yet, or no? Has he said anything about it? He typically will move very quickly with stuff like
shout
this.
Shout out to Google for having a pride.
Is that really what they're doing?
Yes.
American Pride? That's good. American Pride.
Yeah, no, that's not American
Is that
Pride.
Studio 54
That's
disco?
Studio 54 disco ball for Google.
Has he said anything, Rob, or no?
Oh, I don't care. Hold on, let's go out of here. Man, there's a lot of people back in Spencer Pratt in LA, dude. I'm loving it. Iran responds after U.S. redirects ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Uh-oh.
Today, CENTCOM is
Rumor has it Strait of Hormuz is closed right now again. Of course.
New images of the blockade against Iran in the Strait of Hormuz. Take a look at this. It's got redirected 121 ships now sailing to or from the regime's ports. They're blocking the regime's ports. This as the U.S. and Iran are engaged in a new wave of strikes with peace talks really on shaky ground at the moment. Chief Foreign.
I love how they're saying shaky ground. I don't think so. I think the peace talks are done. I just don't think they're going to work. And forgive my pessimism. It's just sometimes there's a track record here. There's a track record with Iran. All right.
Correspondent Trey Yinks is in Tel Aviv now with the very latest on those talks. Hi, Trey.
Yeah, hey, Aisha, good afternoon. Iranian state media says that Iranian negotiators are no longer exchanging messages.
Hold on.
Yeah, hey, Aisha, good afternoon. Iranian state media says that Iranian negotiators are no longer exchanging messages with the United States due to Israeli strikes against Hezbollah in Lebanon. Now, those reports did not address the ongoing rocket fire from Iran's largest proxy, dozens of which targeted northern Israel throughout the weekend. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed to strike the Lebanese capital of Beirut, specifically the Dahya neighborhood, if the attacks continue.
There will not be a situation where Hezbollah attacks our cities and our citizens, and its terror headquarters in Beirut and the Dahia remain out of bounds.
This morning, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi and Iran's Parliament Speaker Mohammad Khalibaf attached a possible deal with the United States to the situation in Lebanon, with Khalibaf saying on X, quote, the naval blockade and escalation of war crimes in Lebanon by the genocidal Zionist regime are clear evidence of U.S. noncompliance with the ceasefire. Every choice has a price, and the bill comes due. It will all fall into place. Now, these remarks come hours after the Iranians launched 2 ballistic missiles toward a U.S. base in Kuwait. That was in...
Yeah, I think here's the problem. This needs to stop. Yeah, there just needs to be no deal. There just can't be a deal. It's just not possible at this point. So,
response to U.S. forces conducting multiple strikes over the weekend against Iranian targets, according to U.S. Central Command. These U.S. strikes hit Iranian radar and command and control sites for drones in Guruk, Iran, along the coast and on Keshem Island. CENTCOM described the action as defensive in nature to prevent Iran from attacking international shipping lanes, and after Iran shot down a $4 million U.S. drone. Now, Aisha, tonight, Iran's IRGC is threatening to target northern Israel if those Israeli strikes go after the Dahya neighborhood of southern Beirut. Aisha?
Okay, we'll watch it. Trey Ying's live for us. Trey, thank you.
All right, joining us now, retired Air Force Brigadier General John Teichert. John, great to see you. Where to begin? Okay, so let's begin here. CENTCOM putting out this message. Last night, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, U.S. forces successfully intercepted 2 Iranian ballistic missiles targeting American forces based in Kuwait. These missiles were immediately defeated. No American personnel were harmed. U.S. Central Command remains vigilant. Will continue to protect our forces from Iranian aggression while supporting the ongoing ceasefire. As a defensive measure, we also took out radar and drone launch facilities on Guruk and Keshem Islands. I mean, Iran's just going to keep doing this, right?
Yeah.
Until President Trump does this to them, it's going to be the same thing.
John, I agree. And I think there were 3 rounds of what we saw this weekend during the last week. Iran provokes. They watch how we respond. It ends up being minimalist in nature, and we talk about how it's defensive in nature. They respond, and then we don't continue. And I think they're testing their underlying hypothesis, which is that we are eager to make a deal. And we.
By the way, double tap the screen if you think that this deal's not going to happen. Like, if you think the deal's not going to happen, double tap the screen, because I don't think it is. I just don't see it happening, man. I just don't.
We don't want to escalate, and the only way that that cycle stops is if we start to strike at the heart of the regime.
Right. Okay. I've been directed to look up something that President Trump just put out on Truth Social. Let's take a look at this. I had a very productive call with Prime Minister Netanyahu. Will be no troops going to Beirut. Any troops are on their way, have already been turned back. Likewise, to your highly placed representatives, I had a good call with Hezbollah, and they agreed that all shooting will stop, that Israel will not attack them, and they will not attack Israel. So it sounds like President Trump is trying to calm down Iran, which has said that the ceasefire includes Lebanon. It's an interesting development.
It is indeed, and I think Iran feels emboldened enough to walk away from the negotiating table in support of their proxies or the arm of the IRGC and Hezbollah. And I'm concerned that if we don't continue to support Israel and their ability to defend themselves in northern Israel against Hezbollah, then we're just demonstrating further eagerness and emboldening the regime.
All right, so what do you think is going on here? So Araghchi and Galibaf have both talked about the ceasefire includes Lebanon. I've never actually seen that in writing, though I haven't seen the new proposal, the Memorandum of Understanding. But if they say, hey, you can't attack Lebanon and expect us to talk about a ceasefire, and then President Trump calls Netanyahu and says, pull back the troops, calls Hezbollah and says, we'd appreciate it if you stopped attacking Israel, is that not throwing a bone to Iran? which is behaving so badly through this whole thing?
John, I think it is, and we are now 8 weeks into a 2-week ceasefire, and I think steps like this further embolden the regime and strengthen their negotiating position, whereas strikes by the United States and Israel on the heart of the regime would reverse that.
Hey, baby. How's it going? Heck yeah, I'm almost done here. Well, close enough to being done.
In terms of the position that Iran is in, this is what Senator Chris Coons said. Listen here.
Iran is stronger than they were 90 days ago before this war because they've used their cheap and lethal drones not just to close the Strait of Hormuz, but to attack our partners and allies in the region, harming oil and gas infrastructure, hitting our embassies and bases. And we need a stronger, better answer to Iran's ability to close the Strait of Hormuz at will.
Now, I would argue that Iran's not any stronger.
I pretty much reacted to the whole video here, so I think we'll call it good. We're going to be streaming a little bit later today, so yeah, just appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for all the likes. Thank you guys for all the gifts. Appreciate it. And last night was crazy. Ended up getting a pretty good chunk of things. You guys have just been amazing. So thank you for the subscribers too. We just hit 10,700. So 10,701. So if you guys want to last minute subscribe, if you haven't already, make sure you guys tap the subscribe button in the upper right hand corner. It's crazy, man. We're getting bigger and bigger. Wild, effing wild. I love it. You guys are incredible. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Let's go.